Alrighty, we are live. So for anyone who is joining early, we are doing a pre-stream Q&A for Coaster Time. This is just something I do before the stream start, just so I can give notifications out early and we can get this show started right away at, I guess in today's case, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific if you're me, of course. Any questions you have, let me know in the chat below. We're going to be doing, like I said, just Q&A, maybe some catching up while we wait for Coaster Time, the actual stream to start, where we'll go straight into the introduction, the news, and the entire stream. So that's going to be the plan there. And so, like I said, if you have any questions, let me know, and that'll be what we are doing. But today's episode, it is good to have a guest on for the first time in quite a while, actually. Since I guess because the last episode we did viewer call-ins, and the last time I had a Coaster Time episode where I had a focused on guest was back in March with my last episode with On the Hunt. So really nice to have a guest again, bringing back Jace from 808CoasterLife, who has really been a big help for this channel, for this series. So without him, this Coaster Time series really wouldn't exist. So always really fun to bring him back and test out some new segments with him and everything. And so today, basically, I'm going to be trying to test also if we can get these streams closer to 2 hours, which is something I'm trying to do just because I want to make them a little shorter. It makes it easier for me, my guests, but hopefully we still can fill it with content, of course, as these streams always have. So that's some of the things there. And yeah, so like I said, pre-stream Q&A, the official stream will start at 5 EST. I forgot to change that because it was originally 6, so I'm actually gonna do that real quick. But 5 p.m. Eastern Time, that'll be, of course, when the official stream starts. So ask any questions you have, or if you have anything you want me to talk about beforehand, let me know, and that should pretty much be that. I see Theme Park Horizons in the chat. Hello. I hope your Texas trip went well. Looks like you got to go to a bunch of different parks, so that's pretty cool. Thoughts on Top Gun Maverick? So I did watch this. For those of you watching who don't know, I did watch this in IMAX. I believe it was last week. I don't think it's in IMAX at too many theaters anymore, but if you haven't seen it yet and your local theater has it in IMAX, or even just in theaters in general, I would say it's a must watch. The flight and action scenes in the movie are just absolutely incredible. Some of the most visually stunning scenes really in any movie I've seen, at least very recently, if ever. I mean, the original Top Gun was already really stunning, which I watched the week before, and you do need to watch the original to watch this one, but that's one thing that really stood out to me, and this movie was also a great sequel to the original film, despite the original having released nearly 40 years ago at this point. So it nailed the vibe a bit. There were some callbacks. So it was absolutely fantastic in a lot of different ways, but definitely the action scenes and the visuals were the highlight in my opinion. So really good movie. One of my favorites that's come out in recent memory. It is so good. So make sure to see it if you haven't yet at your theater, because it is absolutely worth it. Really cool movie for sure. I also know Jurassic World came out recently. I did not see that. I don't have plans to, but I heard that one was not so great. But I haven't been following the franchise for a little bit, so yeah, there was also that. I had a friend who watched it and wasn't really happy with it. You're doing a trip on June 23rd, 24th. So basically 23rd through 27th. Where are you going? Do you have any parks on that trip, or is it something else? Sounds like it should be pretty fun. I'm hoping to I'm going to have an Atlanta trip toward the end of summer. And there might be another thing that comes up sooner, but we'll see if that goes through or not. But that would be probably less of a park trip than it is other things. So yeah, but that's cool that you're doing that for sure. Hope that trip works out for you and it's pretty fun. Let's see what time it is, 1:55. So once again, pre-stream Q&A. If you have any questions, anything you want to have me talk about, I can talk about it right now, and we'll be doing our stream and starting it at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So that is the plan. Great to see the Ultimate Duo back. Yeah, I've had Jason on quite a few times at this point, but as I mentioned earlier, he is really the one. He has helped me so much with this channel. This channel would not exist without him. This series would not exist without him. He's really helped me do a lot of things that I don't think I could have done otherwise, to be completely honest. I even reached out to him like before I had the channel, and he gave me some really good tips, as did some other YouTubers, but really appreciate hearing that. You'll be attending your first... I did see that on your story. Yeah, you're going to the Ace event at Waldemere. That should be pretty fun. Hope that goes really well. You just hit your first curb a minute ago. That's not exactly the greatest milestone, but I guess it's a milestone regardless. Actually, Christian, I'll have a question I'll send you later today. I have a friend who we're talking about potentially going somewhere out of state. So I know you've done a few trips where you've flown to other places. So I'm gonna actually ask you something about that later. So I guess heads up there. You're doing Magic Mountain on Thursday, Universal on Friday, SeaWorld on Saturday, and Disneyland on Sunday. Good luck for Disneyland on Sunday, but yeah, those are pretty good days, I think, to hit at most of those other ones. SeaWorld San Diego, I actually went during Christmas and Christmas weekend when it was at its most crowded, and I didn't even think it was that bad when I went, so that's actually a pretty good order of parks there. Hope you have fun at all of them, for sure. As I said, Atlanta is going to happen at the end of the summer, so I'm going to hit up over Georgia. I'm probably not going to do Fun Spot because Air Force One is not going to be open by the time I go. I'm like 99% confident in that, but I've never been to over Georgia, so that should be pretty fun. And there's a potential other thing that may happen, may not, I guess. I may be going to Indianapolis for something. I don't know if I would do any parks if that happens, but that is not a guarantee at this point, so we'll see what happens there. I've not been to Over Texas. I know you weren't the biggest fan of the park. It looks solid for Six Flags Park. I do think that they don't really have a true standout coaster compared to some of the other parks I've been to. Yes, they have New Texas Giant. Yes, they have a few other coasters as well. Shockwave, Titan, I guess. Like, they have some, and Mr. Freeze, of course. But it doesn't feel like they have a true standout. So that would be kind of the one thing probably holding it back, I would think. But it still looks like it should be a pretty fun park whenever I visit, which I don't know when that'll be, but probably some point after Prairie Screamer opens. I'm pretty excited to check that out when it opens. Already got it. Sounds good. Okay. I'm at Frontier City right now near Gunslinger. Nice. That's cool. Gunslinger, I don't know what that is actually, so you'll have to remind me what that is. I'm not 100% sure what that ride is. We'll only be around for about half an hour, but appreciate the stream. Yeah, of course, I appreciate you checking it out. Of course, if you want to, you can check it out later. I'll have the links, probably, not links, the timestamps probably out by tomorrow. I got some stuff going on tonight, so I probably won't be able to update it in time, but for anyone watching this afterwards, I should have those timestamps out by tomorrow, which is Saturday, so maybe even tonight. We'll see what happens. A standout coaster over Texas could be a GCI. I don't know about that. I think it would be a very good coaster for them to have. I don't know if it would be their number one, but GCI can do some really nice rides, so perhaps. Alrighty, so it is 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern. It's 11 a.m. in Hawaii, for those of you who don't know. So those are your sort of times there. But that means it is officially time to begin the stream. And so with that being said, Jace, I'll bring you on real quick and I'll cue the intro, I suppose. So that's going to be the plan there. Alrighty, so here we go. Welcome everyone to the 33rd episode of Coaster Time, hosted by me, Carrick from Coaster Hour. And today, as always, we will be doing a bunch of different segments, including news, guess the coaster, buy or sell, coaster draft, coaster hangman, coaster countdown, and Q&A with my guest and Hawaii's #1 coaster enthusiast, Jace from 808CoasterLife. And so with all of that being said, Jace, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Hopefully audio's doing well because I've been having some little audio issues just earlier. So let me know if that's good.
It's good on my end, yeah.
Yeah, besides that, I'm pretty excited for this.
Of course. It's always great to have you on. I talked you up a little bit. I don't know if you heard, but you're the one who really has, like I said, helped out with a lot of the channel stuff here. We've helped each other out a bit, so always a pleasure to bring you back on, and should be a pretty exciting stream, especially because we have a segment that was supposed to happen the last time we were on, but I forgot it existed. We have a Pennsylvania coaster draft, so
stay tuned for that.
Yeah, stay tuned for that. Should be pretty fun. With that being said, we're going to be going straight into the news. Already have it up. And so, yeah, we're going to be going right into it, starting with our ride opening. So we had 4 rides that opened, or 3 rides and 1 new park that opened in the last 2 weeks. We have Star Voyager at Marineland, which is a 0-star shape, which is a first of its kind flat ride in North America, I believe. Carousel on the Promenade at Icon Park, which is a Chance Rides carousel. I don't know that I would necessarily endorse the ride just because of the events that have happened there in recent memory, but it did open, so I figured I'd report on it. We also have Tilt-A-Whirl at Fun Spot Atlanta, which is, of course, a new flat ride that opened this week. And Zigong Fantawild Dinosaur Kingdom in China, which is a new park, part of the Fantawild chain that has a standout coaster in their Vekoma family suspended flying coaster, along with a few other smaller family coasters. Any thoughts on any of these rides, Jace?
These look like some good additions. Pretty excited that North America's finally getting a star shape. Although I've heard that from reviews that some of the European versions aren't as intense as they may seem. But who knows? Maybe this one will be different. And yeah, pretty excited that we're finally getting one.
Yeah, it is a pretty interesting ride. I mean, when I saw a picture of it, I'm like, do we have one of these? And I saw somewhere it's like, oh, it's North America's first. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense because I wasn't aware of these, but it looks like a pretty cool ride for sure. So definitely agree with that. Next, we have some ride reopenings, which include the Forbidden Caves at Bobbejaanland in Belgium. It has been closed since October of 2019. This is a dark ride they have over there. We also have Hellcat at Clementon Park, the S&S wooden coaster that reopened very recently. It was closed since September of 2019. And Titan at Six Flags Over Texas just reopened for the first time today since October of 2021 when it had its cable snap. So there are your reopenings. Jace, any thoughts here?
Not much except for that. I'm glad that they're back open.
Yeah, it's good to see, especially Titan, because it's like that would, I mean, I guess all of these, but Titan was kind of the funny one just because of the chain snap happening so long ago, but it did reopen. Sorry, Christian, I did think about that when I saw the news. Yeah, F's in the chat. Next, we have construction updates. And actually, I'm going to have to give credit to Bio Reconstruct on Twitter. He does universal aerial shots and construction updates along with other things. Great follow on Twitter, and he allowed me to use this picture of the Donkey Kong construction. So credit to him for allowing me to use his picture. And the same thing goes for Dean Rel Coaster, who has been covering Park Asterix over there on Instagram. So huge shout outs to them for allowing me to use these pictures. But with that being said, In terms of construction updates, Tutatis has topped off at Park Asterix, Vekoma Hyperspace Warp at Oriental Heritage, Yingtan in China has also gone vertical, Donkey Kong Coaster at Epic Universe has gone vertical, Project Amazon at Chessington has also gone vertical, and the first ever Vekoma Super Boomerang at Fantawild Zhuzhou, probably totally butchered that, has also gone vertical. Any thoughts on any of these?
These all look like some pretty exciting additions, especially Tutatis, because we've been following that ride since 2018. So I'm glad that there's some good progress on that ride. And also the Vekoma Super Boomerang is very interesting.
Yeah, it is. I couldn't get the construction photo from that one. I believe VH Coasters, if you check them out on Twitter, has that. But the Super Boomerang is definitely one of the intriguing ones because I didn't think we were going to get an update on that for a while. But all of these are super exciting. Apparently, I said cable snap, not chain snap. I meant to say chain snap for Titan. So thanks for correcting me on that. Next, we also have some construction wall art, and I also will have to credit XD Coasters on the left. This is the motorbike coaster at Fuji-Q Highland, and so as you can see, posters show a motorbike vehicles, and on the right we have Dollywood construction wall art as well, which include bear tracks and claws. It's bear tracks because it has 5 toes. Bears have 5 toes. Unnecessary bio information for those who didn't know, but looks like it'll have an animal theme, and that picture is from coaster101.com. And then there's also Europa Park Croatia posters. I don't have it here, but they also exist. It's going in the Croatia area of the park. Any thoughts on any of these?
First of all, for some reason, I thought that was one picture, the 2 pictures, but besides that, yeah, these seem like some pretty interesting projects.
For sure. I mean, we already knew about the motorbike, but it's nice to have even more concrete evidence of that being the vehicle design. And then it will be interesting to monitor what the Dollywood coaster theme will be. So, interesting updates for sure. Next, we have our ride delays. We have, oh god, I don't even know if I can try to say this. Berg-Und Hetz at Skyline Park in Germany. SBF Visa launch coaster was supposed to open this year. It has been delayed to 2023 due to delivery issues. And then we also have the relocated Reversion Wild Mouse at Adventure Park Hellendoorn in the Netherlands. That is going to be delayed indefinitely, they're saying, due to delivery issues, which could mean later this year or next year. It was supposed to open in spring, so unfortunate to see, but hopefully these things get open pretty soon. Your thoughts on these?
Yeah, I just hope that they can get back on track.
Yeah, for sure. So hopefully they can open pretty soon. There has been Dollywood work in the past few months. It just hasn't been covered recently. I saw someone mention in the chat that they're just starting construction. There's been some stuff going on, so it's not just it didn't just happen recently. Next, we have some ride closures. Crazy Beach Party, which was a frisbee type ride, and Music Express, which was also another flat ride, both at P&E Playland, have both closed for good. And so yeah, they're gone. So rest in peace for those two.
Yeah, up in the chat. Just hope that they can have some good replacements for that eventually.
Well, we do have some information about that, so we'll get to that in a little bit. So, but we do have some information on a new ride going there, so stay tuned for that. But we also have another significant closure coming soon. Bosque Mágico, which is the park in Mexico that has Zombie Ride, which is the Premier Skyrocket 2 that cycles twice. It's the only one that does it. That is closing for good on August 28th to become part of a local government project that is focused on helping the civilians of the city there in Guadalupe, is I believe where it is. So it is closing for good. Pretty surprising. Your thoughts on this?
Kind of an interesting closure. Hopefully Zombie Ride gets like relocated or something like that, because it does look like a very cool Skyrocket 2 since it goes twice.
Yeah, for sure. I think most of the rides here are going to be saved because as sad as it is as a park like this is closing where it's not there isn't really another park close to it is the other kind of issue. It's very sad to see a park like this close. This park's only been around for 28 years. They have quite a few rides and it's going to be a used rides paradise. And Gene Staples is definitely going to be eating a slice of that pie. So it should be a park to monitor, especially with the Skyrocket 2. I think it'll get sold somewhere. Where it is, we'll have to see. Next, we have some unfortunate news, depending on how you look at it. But Knott's Berry Farm has publicly stated that they are not planning a Hyper or Giga Coaster, and that those leaked plans you may have seen online, that were spreading, of course, that they did not come from Knott's Berry Farm or Cedar Fair. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate, but I mean, yeah, whatever Knott's Berry Farm gets next, hopefully it'll be good.
Yeah, no, I will say this. This does not for sure at all mean that they're not getting it. Sometimes these parks like to deny stuff just because, I mean, you don't want something like this to get spoiled. But I'm getting more of the vibe that this is actually something that's not really going to happen in the near future. So we'll see what happens there, but definitely not promising. So unfortunate. And then speaking of other unfortunate project potentially issues, Thorpe Park's Project Exodus has run into an issue as the environmental agency there in London has given 3 objections to the project. Now, they may be able to work around them. I've heard that these issues might not be that significant, but they might be, so it'll be something to monitor. It's not complete doom and gloom, but we'll see what happens. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, hopefully they can find some workarounds for that and maybe still get the ride open.
Yeah, I really hope so because this coaster would be absolutely incredible for the UK. Would, I think, pretty easily be their #1 coaster, so hopefully this happens. Next, we have Peony Playland. They will receive the world's first Imperialist Gryphon, which is going to be called Skybender in July, which I don't know where it's exactly going in the park, but I guess you can call it a spiritual successor to the 2 flat rides. Pretty exciting new project, and they're also getting the reopening of Coaster, which has undergone a major refurbishment that has included a retrack, but they are also adding seat belts to the ride vehicles, as I potentially feared all the way back when I heard they were putting a lot of money into it. So it looks like the restraints are the same besides it now having seat belts. So your thoughts on this?
I'm sad that Coaster is a little modified, but this new fly ride does seem pretty exciting and very interesting. So yeah, we'll see how that ride turns out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it'll be interesting to see one of these like in real life and people's opinions on it. So yeah, for sure. Next, we have Cedar Point, which actually has a few things here. They have filed plans to build a new pavilion and 2-story building that appears to be the main addition for next year, much to the dismay of many coaster enthusiasts, because it's a pretty big building. It doesn't really look like they'll add any new rides, but we'll have to wait and see if they still do. But they've also started teasing wall art as of today with the name of former leadership member of the Cedar Point Company, J.A. Bachlein, who was part of park leadership back in the late 1800s. His name has been put up on the construction wall, so they're probably going to have some callbacks to the really old days of Cedar Point with whatever their new addition ends up being with this pavilion. Your thoughts here?
Yeah, basically what Carrick said. Yeah, hopefully we'll see if there's like anything else, but like the restaurant should be a good addition though.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be. I'm curious. The building looked really nice from the concept art I saw it being like kind of spread around, but we'll see what it looks like when it ends up becoming real. So still a lot to be determined there. Next, we have new dark ride plans that have leaked from Funtown Splashtown USA in Maine. This is the park that has Excalibur, the wooden coaster, And according to the leaks, they are planning to get a new dark ride within the next 2 years. Exact specifics of the dark ride are pretty scarce, but if they end up going through with this, pretty exciting addition to the park. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a nice, good addition. It's very different, probably, from anything else that's at the park. So yeah, really like the addition.
It'll be interesting to see. I imagine probably Sally Dark Rides ends up being the manufacturer, but it's cool to see some of these smaller parks invest in themed rides like this. So that's always nice to see. And next we have a park in Australia, Goombaya World. This is the park getting the Mauer Skyloop from Dreamworld. Vekoma Trek has arrived there as well for an unknown coaster that is speculated to be for a Vekoma suspended family coaster. So this little park in Australia seems to be building up to something at least somewhat interesting now. So your thoughts on this?
Yeah, the Skyloop and potentially Vekoma family suspended coaster seem like good additions, and it would be a great way to expand the park. So yeah.
Yeah, it is very interesting. Like this park's existed for a while, but it seems like now they're starting to build up. So pretty interesting there for sure. And also this picture comes from MIDI Theme Parks on Instagram. Make sure to check them out. They do some coverage of Australian parks as well. So also huge shout out for allowing me to use this as well. Next, we have Zamperla, who has sold their first Lightning coaster. And just to avoid confusion, this is not the Double Heart model. This is the just updated Thunderbolt model. This is one of the layouts. This is not necessarily the one that it will be. This is just for reference. But yeah, they have sold one of these, so we'll have to see where it goes and what it ends up looking like, but pretty exciting. Any thoughts on this?
Yeah, the stock layout for this coaster looks pretty interesting. And I really like how Zamperla is improving on the Thunderbolt model, especially in the restraints department. And yeah, it's a good step in the right direction for Zamperla.
Yeah, it is. They definitely seem to be a manufacturer on the rise, so it's great to see them working to improve their trains, their restraints, and them having some success now with this coaster getting sold. So that's definitely good to see. Next, we have news out of Six Flags Fiesta Texas. Their Boomerang will receive a major refurbishment for the 2023 season, which will include 2 new trains with vest restraints and new magnetic brakes. Your thoughts on this?
If this edition is going or if this refurbishment is going to be anything like Sidewinder, which I guess is now Jolly Rancher Remix at Hershey Park, I guess it'll improve the ride a little bit if it was like a really rough boomerang. But besides that, I don't know if it would be like a super big change. I guess we'll see once the refurbishment is done, though.
Yes, this bit of news actually kind of went under the radar. It was announced at the ACE event, so if you hadn't heard of it, that's why. But that is where the announcement came from. So there you have it. And next we have Steel Pier in New Jersey. This is a seaside park, I believe. They are teasing a new for 2023 spinning coaster that Premier Rides is involved with in some way. It said so on the poster. Some people are speculating this could be their first spinning coaster. The coaster in the concept art looked more like a Zamperla Wild Mouse, so I doubt it. I think it might be something where this may be a relocated mouse, and Premier Rides actually, if you look on their website, they do work on ride relocations and refurbishments, so that might be how they're involved, but pretty interesting. Your thoughts here?
Sounds pretty accurate that Premier would just be like relocating it. But if Premier actually was the one that built it, I mean, they just designed like a super unique family invert concept for Slaharin before. So I wouldn't be too surprised if that was the case either.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to monitor. Obviously, it's still a long while away from seeing this open, but should be interesting to monitor. Next, we have Universal Orlando, which had a few things happen recently. They have received ride project shipments from Mock Rides in recent weeks. This was found through a website. And the day this was found, interestingly enough, it was also there was also some gray track that was spotted online, and the pictures were posted, and this was from I'm trying to remember who exactly was the one who took the picture here.
The coaster crew.
Yeah, the coaster crew. My thing on my screen is really small, but also huge shout out to them for allowing me to use this as well. They have some good content of their own as well. But this track, believe it or not, is speculated to be from Intamin. So kind of a weird coincidence that we learned of the ride shipments being from Mock Rides, and the Intamin track just is there the same day. If this is indeed an Intamin, it's heavily speculated to be. Any thoughts on this?
Very interesting that Epic Universe is getting an Intamin. But I mean, any new Intamin is probably going to be a really good quality ride, so it should be a good addition.
Yeah, for sure. And if you're wondering how people apparently have found out this is an Intamin, it is with the cross ties. The way they are designed is more similar to an Intamin than it is a Mock Rides coaster, apparently, from those I've heard from. So we'll see how this goes. Next, we have Worlds of Fun. They have submitted a grading plan called Project 50, which is for land development for what is very much, for next year's project, because next year's their 50th anniversary. So it's looking more and more like they are indeed getting a new coaster or a new major attraction next year, as the rumor goes. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I'm glad that Worlds of Fun is making some progress on a potentially big addition. And they have a lot of land, so I'm glad that they're, I guess, developing it for something.
Yeah, for sure. It's nice to see a park like this finally get a new coaster after. Well, I guess we don't know that it's a new coaster, but it's very much really starting to look like it. So hopefully that ends up being the case, and it's really exciting to see a project like this come to Worlds of Fun. Next, we have Adventureland Iowa. They are teasing a big announcement, but before you get too excited, this is actually likely a Halloween event. I wouldn't have covered this had they announced a Halloween event, but I wanted to mention it because I saw this sort of thing making the rounds on social media. But you see it kind of has the fog in the background there. It's a black sort of background. Very much seems like more of a haunt event. And there was also a previous leak the day before where staff members actually received an email telling them that they were going to be doing a Halloween event this year, which they usually don't have. So that's probably the announcement coming here. But your thoughts?
Yeah, it probably seems like a Halloween event, but even if that is the case, that still seems like a cool thing for the park to do, especially since they've never done one yet. So, yeah.
Yeah, it should still be pretty fun. I'm just trying to temper people's expectations of a potential new coaster or something like that, because it really does not seem like that is what they're teasing with this specific teaser. So there you have it. Next, we have Fraise pour a City in France. I probably butchered that. They have confirmed that they will indeed be getting a new coaster in either 2024 or 2025 that they have described as a big financial investment for the park. We'll have to wait and see exactly what it is. This is the park that has timber drop, as you can see here in the picture. Your thoughts on this?
Well, if it sounds like it's a big investment, it could be any thrill coaster. So kind of seems like a mystery right now, but it should be a good addition nevertheless.
I believe it may have been suggested a lot earlier on that it may have been a more of a family style coaster, but we'll see exactly what this ends up being. Maybe it's not, but it's nice to hear that this park is getting something new. Even if it's a little while from now, that's going to be pretty big for them. Next, we have Gorky Park in Ukraine. This was an amusement park that, if you didn't hear about it, was actually hit by a Russian missile a little over a month ago. They had a Zero family coaster, which I believe is one of the largest coasters in the country, that was damaged by the missile, but the park has decided to inspect it. They have inspected it, and they are now looking into potential ways to repair it. So nice bit of optimism to have in a very chaotic situation and scary situation just in general. But it's good to see that they're optimistic for the future and looking into ways things into the future. So hopefully they're able to repair it. Your thoughts here?
Yes, I'm really glad that they're putting in the effort to get this ride back on track because of a very unfortunate event. So yeah.
Yeah, obviously, like for anyone there, it's just a very scary and very tragic situation. But it's nice to see some places trying to still like push through all the adversity. So definitely like sort of an uplifting story there. Next, we have a bit of a potential leak for the SeaWorld Orlando coaster name that came out of the weirdest place. The chairman of PGAV, which is a company that helps with SeaWorld designs, may have accidentally leaked the coaster's name, which is supposedly High Surf, according to his deleted post. I believe his deleted post was on LinkedIn or something like that. If this ends up being the actual name, which I honestly doubted it was based off the speculation, I'd be pretty surprised, and this would be a pretty bad way for it to get out. But we'll have to see what happens. Your thoughts on this?
I mean, if it actually is, I guess it's a kind of a fitting name. But yeah, hopefully it's something different because of the way the name came out.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I think it's a solid name if they actually end up going with it. It's just kind of like this is just such a bizarre way for it to come out. I mean, you'd expect like someone from a higher up from a company like this would be quiet on something like that, but I guess it may have slipped through the cracks. We'll have to see it, or it could be another Mako situation where, or Emperor, I should say, where it was supposedly going to be called Mako and then it wasn't, the dive coaster at San Diego. So we'll see what happens there. And then for our last bit of news, this isn't really news, but it was making the rounds on social media, so we might as well mention it. HersheyPark released a Halloween event teaser that showed Wildcat in the background along with some pretty ominous signs. There was this character that was holding a watch or like a clock thing in her hand. And there was just some pretty eerie stuff. So a lot of people are speculating they are teasing the demise of Wildcat. There's something that's going to happen with it. It's almost a guarantee at this point, but we'll have to wait and see exactly what this is. Your thoughts?
Yeah, hopefully Wildcat will be, I guess, changed for the better, as in like RMC. But
Yeah.
like, if that's still not the case, then hopefully there will be some improvements to that general area.
Yeah, I think it sounds like they're teasing its demise, so I'm thinking probably RMC or Titan Track. I still think Titan Track is on the table for sure, but we'll see what happens there. And I should also mention, because some people are going to tell me, this teaser was for a Halloween event, yes, but Wildcat was also in there, so it very much seems like they are teasing something relating to it, and there's been a lot of activity around it, so something is going on that's like pretty much undeniable at this point. Next, we have some channel announcements. I have it pinned in the chat, but if you could, either after the stream or if you have multiple devices during the stream or just whenever's convenient, I have just created a brand new poll based off viewers who either requested or have expressed interest in coming on. So make sure to do that if you make sure to do that. It should only take like 5 minutes or less. It's literally just one like multiple choice question thing, and that's it. It's pretty short, so make sure to do that, please. That would be very much appreciated. And also, if you still want to come on Coaster Time and couldn't get your request in before the actual timeline of me getting this poll out, you can still do it. I still have the link there in the description and on my About page where it will be until I change it. Next thing I have is something that actually happened with self-requests. They're self-requests as in if you want to come on, that's a way you can request. They're not self-requests as in you're requesting someone else to come on. Someone did that, and I had to confirm with the person that they put their name under if it was them, and because I thought it was pretty suspicious. It wasn't, so just a message. Don't submit fake self-requests. It really can mess a lot of things up, but fortunately, the one I found was there only appeared to be one, and I was able to find it pretty quickly. So just make sure not to do that. And then I meant to announce this last stream, but me and HersheyPark Enthusiast, we did this several weeks ago, so this may have aged pretty badly at this point. But we actually agreed to something that we are calling the Wildcat Wager, which, and the terms of this is that if Wildcat is RMC'd for the 2023 season, I will bring Grant from HersheyPark Enthusiast on for coaster time as a guest, and he gets $25 from me. And if Wildcat is not RMC'd for the 2023 season, I get to be a primary guest on one of his live streams, and I receive $25. So that is sort of the bet there. Fun little thing to do. I mean, I really don't feel like it can lose either way. I'll be pretty happy with Wildcat getting RMC'd. So it's just a fun little thing to kind of toss in there. Should be pretty fun, but that's pretty much everything. What was that?
Let the games begin.
Yep, I definitely, after this past week, it looks like I might be taking an L. It could still be Titan Track. Still holding on to that hope, right? But yeah. That's all the news. So next we're going to move on to Guess the Coaster. So if you haven't done this before, you should be able to catch up pretty quickly here. But I guess I'll go first. Jace, as mentioned in the last stream we did, you can put your questions in the regular chat, but put your answers in private chat just so that way you can't spoil it since we're a little bit ahead. But I'm going to be going first. I'm going to get my coaster. We'll be switching off. We'll be doing 8 rounds in total, 4 between each of us, if that makes sense. So, yeah. So I just need to get my coaster. And, all right, I got my first coaster. So ask away your questions in the chat. You're going to guess Batman the Ride. Good guess, but not quite. It is in North America, so we have North American Coaster. It's not Nessie. One day it'll be Nessie, right? It's got to be one day, eventually. But we'll see what happens with this one. But so far we have North American Coaster, and it is not on the West Coast. So far just North American Coaster. It is at a chain park. So, chain park in North America. It is a steel coaster. So, steel coaster at a chain park in North America. Not narrowing it down much. It is not on the East Coast. So, North American, we still have the same thing. It is not at a Cedar Fair park. It is not Mamba. It is a sit-down coaster. So, it is a sit-down coaster, yes. It is in Texas. So we have Texas steel sit-down coaster at a chain park. And it is at a Six Flags. It is not over 200 feet. So Six Flags sit-down steel coaster. That is in Texas. It is from a European manufacturer. It's not from RMC. It does not have inversions. It is not Steel Eel. It is not New Texas Giant. It does not have inversions, so I think that's pretty much that there. It's not Iron Rattler. Kind of surprised no one's tried to narrow down the park because there's 2 parks, Six Flags parks in Texas. We have Wave Breaker. No, it's not. Superman Krypton Coaster. Nope. It's not Family Coaster. It's not Roadrunner Express. It is not at Fiesta, Texas. It is not New Texas Giant. It is not Titan. It is at Over Texas. So, Over Texas steel sit-down coaster. Admittedly, the sit-down might get some people a little bit. It is a sit-down coaster, but when you say sit-down, you get an idea, and this might not apply. It is not Runaway Mountain. It's not Runaway Mine Train. It's not Lobby Bora. It's not Mini Mine Train. Mr. Cola Roaster got it right. It is Pandemonium at Six Flags Over Texas. That is the correct answer. Wait, you're muted. What was that?
By the way, that's a spinning coaster. Wait, would you count spinning coasters as sit-down coasters?
It does an RCDV. That's kind of why. I mean, yeah, I guess it's I mean, someone guessed a motorbike, which, I
Oh.
mean, I don't know. I was kind of like, I didn't know how to answer that one because if I said it wasn't, then people were gonna be like, "Oh, it's a spinning coaster. That's a sit down coaster." So, although,
Hmm.
I guess it is kind of a
I guess what I
interesting
mean by
point.
sit down coaster is just like you're fixed, you're above the track, and you have a floor. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that I guess that was kind of tricky, but because
I
yeah,
guess it
traditionally
technically
you'd
is
think,
though.
yeah, it's kind of weird. But do you have your coaster?
Yes, I do. I guess I'll go ahead then. Um, yeah, I have my coaster, so you guys may put in your guesses for this next coaster. Let me get the YouTube chat so it might be a little faster.
Weird thing is sometimes it kind of switches, which is kind of funny.
Oh,
It,
okay.
it's not
Um,
always consistent.
so it is in Asia, and it is a steel coaster. So far we got Asian steel coaster, so it's not in Europe or North America. Um, I guess yeah, spinning coasters could be 4D coasters since they rotate.
Hmm.
So it's not wood coaster because it's steel coaster. Yes, it is in China. So far we got Chinese steel coaster. Um, so yeah, it's not Formula Rosa. That would be cool if I got that though. Um, it's not Big Boom, but it does have inversions, but it does not have a launch. So far we got Chinese steel coaster with inversions without a launch. It is not a dive coaster, and it is not Dynaconda. Good questions though. Yes, it is a B&M though. So far we got Chinese B&M coaster without a launch. It's not an invert. So it wouldn't be Battlestar Galactica. At a Happy Valley Park? No, it is not at a Happy Valley Park. Yes, it is a wing coaster. So it wouldn't be Starry Sky Ripper. Or flying coaster. So far we got Chinese wing coaster, or Chinese B&M wing coaster. Yeah, so it wouldn't be a floorless coaster. Chinese wing coaster. I guess there's a lot of wing coasters in China.
There
So I
are
don't know if that really
actually,
helps.
and they got a lot of different names too. It's pretty tricky.
Yes. Is the word wings in the title? No. It is the word wing is not in its name. So but it's not Falcon or Da Vinci Ride. But Mr. Cola Roaster did get it right. It is, at least on this chat, it is Parrot Coaster at Chimelong, Ocean Kingdom.
Actually, Northern Rides got it first. I don't think you saw it, but he actually got it like way earlier.
Oh, actually?
Yeah, yeah, he got it. It's under inversions
Oh,
on
I
my
see
end.
it. Yeah, Northern Rides did get it first. So yeah, congrats to Northern Rides.
And Mr.
Cola Roaster,
Coloroster,
you
I
did pretty
guess,
well too.
because I mean,
Yeah.
he still had to figure out the clues. So,
Yeah. My
but good
bad.
job
But
there. No, the
yes,
good job there.
Northern Rides got it right.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I have my coaster, so guess away. This is going faster than last time. It took a long while last time for like people to guess the coasters. Last time, I think it was like kind of because like the clues were a little tricky, but it is in Europe, so we have European coaster right off the bat. It's not Rush Benon. So European coaster. And it is steel, so European steel coaster. Really narrowing it down, aren't we? It does not have a launch. It does not have inversions. It is not Abyssus. It is at a chain park. So European steel coaster at a chain park has no launch and no inversions. It is not in Germany. It's not wooden. It is not over 200 feet. Let's see what we get here. It is not Dragon at Legoland. It is not at a Merlin park. It is not a family coaster, but it is at a Wallaby park. And it is a sit down. And an actual sit down this time. Like, not debatable. Um, it is not in the UK. It is not Arthur. It's not Goliath. Um, it is in Belgium, yes. Hey, Kirk, anything you've missed? You missed news, and we just started doing Guess the Coaster, but not too much. It's not a B&M. It is not Goliath. JC got it right, but I'll wait till someone in chat gets it.
Let's go.
It is not Untamed. It is not. I know which one you're trying to mention. The one in. I think it's at Movie Park Germany, but it's not that one. It's not Pulsar. Christian and Northern Rides get it really close for me. It shows Christian first, but it was like super close. It is indeed Conda at Wallaby, Belgium. Ride to Happiness was another cool guess. But yeah, the correct answer is Conda. So there you have it. JC, have your next coaster?
I do not have it yet. Let me try get it real quick.
Ooh, wait, I'm not gonna do this one, but I got Euro Express. It's the Intamin Kanonen clone, but without a launch, basically indoors. It's in China. It's a pretty cool ride, but it's pretty dang obscure, so I'm not doing that.
Should I do this one? This might be a little obscure. Actually, I'll choose a different one.
Okay, what was it? Out of curiosity.
Tread the Sewers.
Oh, I think you could have done that one. I would have done it.
Oh, well, I did get one though.
All right.
All right. You guys may guess ahead because I got my coaster.
Oh,
Good
yeah,
night,
Zach.
Northern Rides.
Zach, I just wanted to say this real quick. Hope you heal well. I know you just got COVID, but I hope you're feeling better. Yeah, you're saying so. So you'll get through it. Tough, but you'll get through it.
Just be patient. Because I
Yes.
just had it. Okay. So what we got? So it is in North America. It is not a steel coaster, and it does not have inversions or launch. So far we got North American non-steel coaster. It is not coaster at P&E Playland. Good guess though. So yes, it is a wooden coaster. So far we got North American wooden coaster. It is not on the West Coast. And it is not a GCI. And it's not Gwazi. Let's see. It is not at a Cedar Fair park, so it wouldn't be Prowler. It is not El Toro. It is not defunct, so it's still operating. And it is not at a chain park. So so far we got North American wooden coaster at a chain park, I think. It's not a CCI. And it is not Voyage or an Intamin. So none of those. Not Kentucky Flyer. Good guess, though. Not Blue Streak. It's not the Beast. It's not Mind Blower. It is not a Gravity Group. It is not El Toro. And it's not... Wait, is it PT? No, it is not a PTC. So it's not Switchback. It's not Boulder Dash. Not Mind Blower. Yes, it is on the East Coast. But it's not White Lightning or Rampage or Switchback or Phoenix, or Oscar's Wacky Taxi. So yeah, not a Gravity Group or a PTC. It is not a DIN coaster. But let me check what Carrick said. It is not Thunder Rider.
Yeah, it's not that one. Yeah, I knew it.
It is not. So it's not Leap the Dips. It is not Rampage. Not Phoenix. It's not the Wild One. Not Cyclone. And it's not Boulder Dash. Did it open before the year 2000? It did open before the year 2000, but not by a lot. It is not the wooden bobsled at Knoebels. And it is not Swamp Fox. So I guess so far all we got is wooden coaster, North American wooden coaster at an independent park. That is I guess I wouldn't suggest guessing by manufacturer. I'll say that. It is not Swamp Fox though.
Boy, it's one of these tricky ones then.
Although some people guess close ones. It is not Cyclone Carrick. Let's see. It is not Comet at Lake Winnie, and it is not the Beast. It is not Wildcat at Lake Compounds. It's not Twister 2, although I wish it was. Not Roller Coaster, and it is not Gray White. Oh yeah, this we also clarified that it is on the East Coast. So yeah, that narrows it down at all. It is not Cannonball, and it is not Kentucky Rumbler at Beach Bend. So when it's not Yankee Cannonball. Let me just check real quick if someone like guessed it earlier and I like forgot it. Although there's some like really, I gotta say there's some really close guess.
Did you check my private chat one?
It is not Grizzly.
Dang it. That one was like, oh, it's obvious, and it's not. Man.
Yeah, I guess no one got it yet. Let's see what else is there. It is not Dania Beach Hurricane. It's not Cannonball, and it is not Racer at Kennywood, and it is not Roar. Yeah, so far we got one coaster on the East Coast at an independent park.
You know what?
Should I give a clue? It is not.
No. I think we need to go by states. I think that's
okay.
the move, because I think that will narrow it down a lot.
It is not in New York. It is not Thunderbolt at Kennywood, and it is not Cyclone. And it is not Predator. I'm assuming at Darien Lake. So yeah. So far, we got Independent Park, wooden coaster on the East Coast that's not in New York. Yes, it is in Pennsylvania. So we got a state. So yeah, this Woody is in Pennsylvania. It is not Wildcat at Hershey Park, or maybe some other Wildcat. On my screen, Mr. Color Roaster did get it right. It is Twister at Knoebels. So yeah, I was saying like a lot of people got it close because like someone guessed Twister 2, others got Phoenix at Knoebels, and the wooden bobsled at Knoebels. So yeah, people got some really close guesses. Oh yeah, flying turns. But yeah, Twister at Knoebels is the correct one. Congratulations, Mr. Color Roaster.
I guess for some reason I got the vibe that Pennsylvania didn't touch the water, but it like barely does, I guess.
Oh.
I guess it does, at least based off what I looked at. So I almost like don't associate with that with East Coast, but I guess it does touch the water, so I guess that all right, that was a good one for sure.
That was pretty competitive, I see.
All right, I got mine.
All right.
And that is, so let's see. 1, 2, 3.
I got
that was 6. I think so one more for each of us, I think, is what we're at right now. Okay. Can you like leave me alone, Zach, please? Don't do this to me. It's already painful enough being a Falcons fan. Like, I mean, the team's gonna be awful this year, so you know it is what it is. Let's see. First question. It's not Crush's Coaster. It's not Howler. It's not Dog Fart Coaster. That would be awesome if it was. It is not in North America. I mean, no, sorry. It is in North America. So yes, it is in North America. It's not in Europe. It's not Formula GT. That would be quite crazy if it was. But yes, it is in North America. It's not in Canada. It's not in Mexico. So it is in the U.S. It is not Iron Gwazi. It's not on the West Coast. And it is not Leviathan. Not Max's Doggy Dog Coaster. F's in the chat. It is not Matterhorn Bobsleds. It is not White Lightning. But it is Steel. And it is not Sit Down At least if we're going off of what we went off last time. I'll just say it's a spinning coaster, just to avoid confusion. It does not have any inversions. It is not Space Mountain of any sort. It is not Florida. Not in Florida. It is a steel coaster. It is not in Texas. It is not Montu. It is not Afterburn. It is not B&M. It is not Bat. It is a spinning coaster. It is not Montu. It's not Iron Dragon. It's not Cosmic Rewind. It is at a chain park. So we have spinning coaster at a chain park in the US. It's not Cosmic Rewind. It's not from Mock Rides. It does not have any inversions. It is not Sierra Sidewinder. It is not Cobra's Curse. That is a mock, right? Yeah. It is not at Cedar Fair. It's not a Mauer. It is not a Gerstlauer. It's not Steel Dragon. It's not Toonbilly. It's not a 4D coaster. I'm not like screwing with you guys that way. I'm not that mean. It's not Batman the Ride. It is not at a Six Flags. It's not Whirlwind. It's not Laugh Track. It's not Intamin. It's not at a Cedar Fair park. I guess now that I think about it, this one is kind of tricky, isn't it? I wouldn't think it would be, but I can see why it would be now. It's not a Disney park. It's not Roller Soaker. Roller Soaker, yeah, it didn't have a spinning aspect, but it did have the water aspect to it. Oh my god, is that the park Clint Novak owns? It's not that one. That'd be pretty funny if it was, though. It is not at a SeaWorld park. It is not a Zamperla. It's not Universal. It's not Pteranodon Flyers. It is. It does not have inversions. Wow, this one is really getting people.
I wish people autocorrect would be more kind to me.
It is Reverchon. Yes, there you go.
Wait, that doesn't really help.
Depending on how you look at it. It is not Primeval Whirl, and it is not at a HersheyPark. It is not Wild Mouse. However, it is a Wild Mouse spinning coaster layout, if that helps. It is not at a Six Flags. It's not Hagrid's. It's not at a Six Flags. Reverchon, they manufactured Primeval Whirl, actually. That's the manufacturer, so they do a bunch of spinning coasters. That's what they're most well known for. I believe they are a Italian manufacturer. Don't quote me on that, though. It's not in Ohio. It's not a Wild Mouse. It's not the Wild Mouse at Six Flags America. It's not Raging Cajun. It's not Time Traveler. It's not El Loco. It's not at a SeaWorld park. It's not Raging Cajun. Man, like, this one is crazy. I'm like shocked no one's gotten this. Maybe narrowing it down by state might be helpful. Could be.
Do we establish it was at a chain park?
Yes, it is at a chain park. It is not at Busch Gardens. It is not at Discovery Kingdom. It is not Crazy Mouse. It is not in Georgia. Let's see what else. It's not Hershend. It is in Pennsylvania, so there we go. So 2 back-to-back coasters in Pennsylvania. It is not at a Cedar Fair park. Mr. Coloroso got it right. It is indeed Exterminator at Kennywood. Yeah, I mean, it's indoors, right? And yeah, it's at Palace, so there you go. So
I missed the indoors part.
I didn't say it was indoors, but I mean, it makes it trickier because you don't think of it immediately. So
GG.
All right, so now we're at the last coaster of the game. So you get your
I do have mine.
Alrighty.
Okay. So yeah, you guys may put in your guests because I have my coaster.
Let's see. I accidentally exited out of the format document. That doesn't
Sorry, it
usually
is not
happen.
Nessie. But yes, it is in North America. So yes, so far we got North American coaster. It is not Coast Rider, thank God.
I'd hope so.
It is not on the West Coast, but it is a steel coaster. It is not Matterhorn bobsleds. It is not an Intamin. Let's see. Yes, it is over 100 feet, and it does have inversions. It is not on the East Coast, and it is not Space Mountain. It is at a chain park, but it's not in Ohio. It is not an Aero coaster. So far we got chain park steel coaster over 100 feet with inversions. It is not Gemini, and it is not a Schwarzkopf. It is at a Six Flags park. It is not Goliath at Fiesta, Texas. It is a B&M. So far we got B&M at a Six Flags park, not on any coast. It is not Superman Krypton coaster, and it is not Wonder Woman. Floorless? Technically, it is a floorless coaster. I'll say that. So it wouldn't be an invert. Oh, wait, someone did get it. Imperial, on my screen, Imperial Coaster got it first. It is Dr. Diabolical's Cliffhanger at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas. Congratulations.
Nice.
Assuming no one guessed it before, but yeah, I'm pretty sure Imperial Coaster did get it first.
I'm pretty sure because you don't usually think of upcoming coasters when it comes to this game, so that was a good one. Alrighty, so now we're gonna move on to our next segment, which is going to be buy or sell, which is something I introduced last stream. Very similar to the Airtime Thrill series, I received this blessing, if you could call it that, to do this sort of segment on here. But basically, give us your takes or predictions it can be like predictions for the amusement industry in the future, or just your takes, and we'll decide if we buy or sell it. Like I said, if you've seen the Airtime Thrill series, same thing, but you do it here in live chat. So that being said, we're gonna go with that, and this will be something that lasts for you can submit your questions until will be 6:07 Eastern time, I believe. So that is going to be our cutoff for the questions. So there we go. All right, we got our first one. I'll let you go first for this one. Zombie Ride will be relocated to another park in North America.
I'd buy that. Probably because I guess there isn't too many, or I don't know which Mexican park would get it. So it would probably go somewhere in North America if it gets relocated. So yeah.
I buy it 100%. I mean, it's a cheaper now launch coaster, and as you mentioned, probably not going to another Mexican park, and just because of proximity, it makes too much sense for a North American park to buy it. So they're gonna do it.
It has more capacity than any other Skyrocket 2 in the world, so it's another reason.
Okay, very specific. I saw your theory on this. Tokyo Space Mountain, which is going under a huge refurbishment, like full new building and everything, that is going to be located a few, like, I don't know, further back than the original building, will be the new Omni Coaster model, Cosmic Rewind. They are rebuilding the whole structure and track. I'm going to say no. I feel like if it was, they would have said something, because I think if they do that, it will actually upset people over there, because that's changing it to a point where it's like definitely not even what the old ride was. I'm going to say no to that. Your thoughts on this?
Honestly, I'm indifferent, but if I were to pick, I would go on the safe side and say sell. But if Cosmic Rewind was a success, maybe Disney probably would want to make another one. So we'll see.
I could see it happening. I just think it's doubtful. So, but I mean, if it happens, I mean, that's a good call for sure. So, 10 years from today, there will exist at least 10 mock extreme spinning coasters will exist.
They're kind of expensive. And over the course of 4 years, there have been only two. I don't know.
I'm gonna say no. I think it'll get close, but I just don't see that there will be 10 of them. I'm gonna sell that as well. Let's see. Top Thrill Dragster will receive a new launch. Sell. It's dead. I'm just gonna say it's dead. Sad.
Let's see. I guess Intamin did rework launch systems before. I think I remember for Incredicoaster, they had an LIM launch system and then turned it to LSM when it got renovated into Incredicoaster, if I'm correct. I may be wrong, but I'd say it could be possible, but I don't know how likely that is, especially since LSM launches are generally slower. They would have to make the launch longer, and I don't know how they would do that. So I would say sell just to be on the safe side.
And even if somehow they could do it, I think there might be a way they could. I just don't see Cedar Fair doing that. I think it's unfortunately not going to happen. I would love to see it, but I can't buy it. The UK will get its first RMC before 2030.
I'd buy it, honestly. I mean, even if like the big Merlin parks won't get like a hybrid, the small parks could get a Raptor. Who knows?
The Thorpe Park Raptor, right? Come on, they're gonna do it? No, they're not. I'm honestly gonna say no. I feel so bad saying that, but like, I just, who would do it? I don't really see it happening. I mean, I'm gonna say no to that. As sad as it is. Silver Bullet or Shockwave at Frontier City. Will or over Texas will get new trains like New Revolution, Riddler, Mindbender. Shockwave, yes, I think we do see it for Shockwave. I unless they have worked on it significantly in recent years, I don't know if they have. I would say Shockwave will get it. I doubt it for Silver Bullet because that's a almost portable model. So,
I would buy it as well because like who we won't know like maybe if there might be mechanical issues with the current trains on Shockwave. So yeah, I could see that happening eventually, especially if they want to keep the ride around for longer.
yeah, I think they'll invest into that. I mean, why not? They're very well built, especially a ride like Shockwave and the Schwarzkopf coasters have shown to be very well built. So, yeah, as long as they're maintained well, obviously. But yeah, I mean, any coasters like that. Let's see. The Eddy of X, no, that's not getting fixed. It will never get fixed. I'm going to sell that.
I don't know. I'd say probably sell, but like just because Disney tends to like I noticed that they tend to focus on like making new additions instead of like renovating I guess like old ones. But I guess like the renovations they did do, it's kind of like either the whole ride or just like screens and stuff. It's not like I don't see many renovations to like one part of the ride very often. So yeah, I would probably say sell.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard of what they would have to do to get that to happen, and I just can't see it happening.
Yeah, hers is pretty complex.
Yeah. Hollywood Studios Rock and Roller Coaster gets rethemed the next 10 years. Yeah, I think so. I buy that 100%. We have Disneyland Paris is getting rethemed. I think they're going to look at that, see how that does. I don't know if they'll do the exact same thing, but they'll do something with it, I'm pretty sure. So I buy that.
Yeah, I'd probably buy that too. I mean, I'd also predict there would be a lot of protests if that happens. But yeah, honestly, I considering what Disney has done in the past, they would probably do that.
Yeah. Ooh, I like this one. This one really makes you think. The Snoopy slash Peanuts IP will be gone from the Cedar Fair parks within 25 years. Ooh, you, I'm going to say yes, actually. Wait, actually, oh man, actually, it's really difficult because they are trying to like sort of bring back Peanuts. We have had the Peanuts movie. There's an Apple whatever service show. 25. I'm going to say yes though. I think at some point it's going to just be like there's not really it's not going to be as well known as it is now. So I'm going to say they're not going to have it. So I buy that.
I'm gonna say sell just because I don't know exactly what they would retheme the kids areas to instead. I bet they probably have a lot of options, but I just don't know like realistically what they would use instead. So
Yeah, I mean that would be the tricky part, but I'm sure there's willing companies with IPs that are probably more relevant by 25 years from now that'll be willing. So we'll see. Luna Park will receive the Zamperla Double Heart in New York. That would because it's the testing ground for Zamperla. You'd think so, right? I don't know that they have the room for one though, so I'm going to say sell.
I'm gonna agree with Carrick and say sell because yeah, I don't know how much room they have. So I mean if they did have the room, yeah, they would probably do that. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I guess I'll say it depends on the room they have. If they have space for it, sure. If not, then I don't think they're gonna go out of their way to like get rid of a bunch of things and fit it in there. I know those seaside parks can have a tricky time fitting new stuff in. Universal Studios Florida Minions walkthrough, not confirmed by the way, but I mean almost basically confirmed at this point, becomes a flop. No, I doubt it. Honestly, a lot of people like Minions as much as I despise them, so I'm sure people will enjoy it.
I'd say sell as well. But that's like not a very confident sell, so we'll see.
All right, so we've hit 307. Last minute to submit questions, and we'll just go through the ones. I'll put a certain like stop at some point in the chat, but we'll still keep going through them as long as they were sent before. All right, Universal Studios Hollywood gets the Fast and Furious coaster by 2026. This is a rumored coaster if you haven't heard of it. This is a rumored project that is supposedly for like 2024, 2025. You know what? I think I'm going to buy this because I don't really see what else they can really do in the near future. And if this is something they're planning, I'm sure they're gonna be put all their resources into it once Super Nintendo World opens, especially because that opens in early 2023. So they got a lot of time. So I'm gonna say buy.
Yeah, I would buy it as well. Because yeah, for the exact same reasons. Also because I really want another new coaster there.
Alrighty. Yeah, I mean, they desperately need one, so, I mean, I'm biased a little bit there, but I think it'll happen. Hey, here's one for you. Hawaii will get a new amusement park within the next 15 years.
I'm gonna sell that. Let's be honest. We can't even build like a high speed rail, or we can't even build a public rail. So I'm gonna sell that. Sorry.
I mean, here in California, we have a rail under construction that I don't even know where the heck it's at, but that I, but we saw. I mean, I guess Fresno doesn't really have anything, so bad example. No, we have some things, just very little things. I'm gonna sell that as well, though, because if it hasn't happened yet, I'd kind of be stunned to see it happen. I'd love to see it though.
Yeah. I mean, Of course, I'd love to see one, but realistically, no.
Ninja Magic Mountain will be gone within the next 10 years. I'm actually going to say no. It still very much has its place at the park, especially because they're really lacking in the family coaster department and the space it uses. I mean, yeah, you could probably do something with it, but it would be pretty tricky to put a new coaster in there. So I do think they're going to keep it, and it's pretty reliable from what I've seen. So I think it'll be fine. I say I'm going to sell that.
Um, I'm gonna say sell as well, just because it seems to be running pretty well right now. So I wouldn't see them wanting to remove it anytime soon.
Next question. SeaWorld gets bought by Cedar Fair. I'm going to sell this. They've actually been doing pretty well as of late financially. I mean, if you're saying ever, I mean, there's no way any of us can know. It might be the other way around for all we know, because who knows what the situation's going to be like, even 5 years from now, much less like 50. But for the near future, I'm going to say sell.
Yeah, I would say sell as well, just because I think it's good that the amusement industry does have competition like this. Like, it's not just Six Flags versus Cedar Fair. There's like kind of a third player, along with like, of course, Disney and Universal. So yeah, I'd say sell.
Yeah, I agree completely. And you're forgetting about Hershen. Come on, they're in there too.
Oh right, Urchin.
I'm joking a
They're
bit,
growing.
but yeah.
I will say that they're growing.
But they're there. You got some things around there too. So I mean, but no, I get it. Hurler at Carowinds will get the RMC treatment in the next 5 years. I'm going to say sell. I don't see Cedar Fair really wanting to do RMC conversions much because their first two had quite a bit of issues supposedly. So I'm going to say sell on that.
Yeah, I would say sell. Also because of course the same hurler got at Carowin, or no, at King's Dominion got RMC'd, and I don't know if Cedar Fair would want to have like either RMC try like a different layout on the same foundation or just a clone. I don't know if Cedar Fair would be willing to do that. So yeah.
Fiesta Texas gets a new dark ride for 2024. They did just redo one.
From Metropolis.
Oh god. Wait, do they not already have that yet? I thought I don't know if
I'm
they
not
have that.
sure. I could be totally wrong.
I think they're done with that. Like they aren't adding that to any park anymore at this point. So I'm going to say sell. I know that Jeffrey Siebert, he worked at Paramount's Kings Island, so he has a thing for theming for sure. But I mean, they did redo like a dark ride at some point pretty recently. They're doing a lot with theming with Dr. Diabolicals. I'm definitely going to say no on that.
I'd probably say sell just to be safe, but I do acknowledge there is a possibility that they could get some kind of dark ride by then.
Yeah, I mean, it would be fun to see. I don't see it. SeaWorld Orlando gets an RMC Raptor in 5 years. I'm going to sell that pretty fast. That seems like an addition like a Fun Spot Park is going to get first. So I'm going to say sell.
I'm gonna say sell just because I don't know if the capacity would be good. But I mean, of course, Six Flags Parks got RMC Raptors, so I guess they could if they wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, it would be cool to see it. I don't think it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Next question. SeaWorld San Antonio Intamin Giga Splash. I think you have I don't like, you mean the log flume thing? I know their projects have been kind of all over the place. I'm not going to answer this one because I don't know honestly that much about it. I wasn't keeping tabs on exactly what was going on. I know a mock power splash was rumored for a while, and I know there's like a log flume plan thing. I assume they're still gonna get whatever the log flume plan thing is. So I'll say they're getting that, but I don't know enough about this to answer anything related to this with confidence. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know much about this either, but I mean, if there isn't any like rumors for it, then it probably might have gotten canceled, but I don't have much information, so I don't think I could really give a definite answer either.
Six Flags will remove all go-karts by 2030. I'm going to sell this because they really tried their best to work around the one at Magic Mountain with West Coast racers. So I think they're going to keep a good chunk of them around. So sell. Oh, your audio went off.
Test.
It's
1,
back.
2, 3. Okay. I'd say sell as well, just because I don't know how popular they are, but I do know that like if they're popular, I mean Six Flags Magic Mountain has invested a lot in West Coast Racers like structure. They even like I heard the structure for West Coast Racers, some of it even got tested out in China before being shipped for like rigidity and stuff. I don't know if I don't think Six Flags Magic Mountain would invest that much in getting the support structure right for West Coast Racers if they were just going to remove the go-karts anyway. So, I would say sell.
Only one SNS Axis coaster will ever be built. That's a pretty morbid one. I mean, I could see a world where that happens, as sad as it is, but I'm going to sell on this as long as it's as long as it's reliable enough. There will be more. I'd be pretty shocked if like only one was ever built, so I'm gonna say sell.
I'm gonna say sell, but I'd say like maybe there could be like 2 or 3 ever built. I don't know.
I think it's something they seem to have their 4D stuff down, so I'm hopeful that this works out. I know their non-40 free spin projects haven't exactly gone great, but I think it'll work out. Mission Ferrari opens in 2024, case closed. You know what? I'll buy it. I mean, eventually, right? I think they can do it by 2024.
I mean, yeah, I'd say buy because like they got all this stuff saying like it's almost done. But if it's going at the pace it is, yeah, probably 2024.
Yeah. I mean, they've tested it again as of recently, but I mean, what does that mean anymore? So Six Flags will get at least 3 more B&Ms in the next 10 years. I'm going to sell, and hot take, I actually don't really think they're going to be working with B&M on a consistent basis. I think the Fiesta Texas Dr. Diabolical edition was very much a Siebert and their sort of crew edition than it is a Six Flags edition. Just look at all the work they're doing for it. And supposedly they even asked if they could get the non-vest restraints for it, and it was not an option. This is very much like that cruise like edition, it seems like. So I'm going to sell it.
Honestly, I don't know if Six Flags would be willing to work with B&M again, but I mean, assuming Dr. Diabolicals is going to be a success, which it probably is. It's a B&M, it's reliable, it's a dive coaster. Then I could see them just building more dive coasters. So I'd say sell just to be safe, but honestly, I'm indifferent.
You know, they could get them tilt coasters probably for cheaper if they're reliable. So
Could, yeah, but they didn't work with Vekoma in a while.
they're getting new trains for Boomerang.
Never mind.
I'm joking around a little bit, but yeah.
Technically are.
There will never be a Gerstlauer coaster in China. I mean, I don't know if I would say never, but I don't think they're getting one in the near future, so I will buy that because they're supposedly looking to get steel coasters from more like local domestic manufacturers over there. That's why you've seen a bit of a fall, I guess. I mean, you're still seeing a lot of rides, but outside of the stuff that got delayed and whatnot, outside of Vekoma, there's not a ton of new foreign Chinese coasters coming soon. So I'm gonna say sell. I mean, buy. Yeah.
I'm gonna say sell actually because I think that like the Chinese market is still like going pretty strong, and I mean, they haven't worked with them yet, but I'm assuming since like Gerstlauer coasters generally do well with the general public, I'd say there could be at least one built eventually because of like the kind of rides that they are.
Yeah. If you're asking if there will ever be an RMC coaster, I actually will also say no to that. So, um, I just kind of get the feeling there won't be because, I mean, I feel like they would have bought some Raptors. Some parts over
Yeah.
there would have bought some Raptors by now. All right. SeaWorld Orlando Surf Coaster will have a different seating than standing up. Definitely sell that. We very clearly saw there were stand-up seats on it, so in the animation, so sell.
Yeah, I'd probably say sell as well. I guess they wouldn't. They probably wouldn't get a sit down with that layout. It probably wouldn't be a sit down coaster because I don't know if B&M would do that. So yeah,
Already, last few questions here. A Disney park will close within the next 20 years. Definitely not. I am absolutely selling that. Maybe one of their water parks, because they took their sweet time to reopen one of those. But in terms of actual theme parks, definitely not. I'm selling that.
I'd say sell just because Disney parks are so popular. I wouldn't see that happening.
Yeah, I mean, that would be very surprising if that happened. Arrow loopers become extinct in 20 years. All of them?
I'd
They're
say
still.
I'd say probably at least Tennessee Tornado would still be around because it seems like Tennessee Tornado has aged better than most Arrow loopers.
Another one that would be a pretty hard loss would be Canyon Blaster Adventure Dome.
Yeah,
I mean, that would like completely screw that park up if they were
that
to.
seems to be running well.
Yeah, it's one of the newer ones. It's kind of like it's the unsung sort of Arrow Looper because it's actually one of the newer ones, but it just kind of gets forgotten. It supposedly runs pretty well too, so I'm
I've
gonna
heard
say
that too. I
sell.
heard it runs very well.
Yeah, I'm selling that.
Probably sell just because of at least Tennessee Tornado.
Six Flags will buy another Skyrocket too. I'm going to say sell because now their buddies over at Zamperla are making their own sort of thing.
Right.
So, uh, I mean, they like to work with Premiere, but I think they're gonna give Zamperla a try.
I'd say sell just because if they built one in 2012 and they didn't build one since, it's been like a kind of a long time, then they probably are just done with Skyrocket 2s.
Yeah, I mean, it's been so long since they did their first one, so makes sense. And this will be our last question. That's where I put the cutoff. The new Flamingo Land coaster will have its name changed from Sick to something else within 3 years. If you don't know, this is the new coaster name. It's a tie-in to a fashion company of some sort, a fashion brand called Sick Silk, which just call it Silk. It's white track. But no, I don't think they're gonna change it, so I'm gonna sell. Not within 3 years, anyways.
Yeah, I'd say buy, just because.
Wait, you're buying it, so you
wait.
think it will get changed?
Actually, never mind. I changed my mind. I would probably say sell, just for the same reasons.
Yeah. I mean, that would have to be such a disaster for them to change the name in 3 years after it opened. But
Yeah.
this coaster has been like super long delayed, so you never know, but I doubt it. All right, so our next segment is
boy.
going to be the Pennsylvania coaster draft, the long lost coaster draft, just because
Finally.
of the kind of, I guess, history. Like, yeah, it was supposed to happen the last stream we both were on, but I like totally missed it for some reason. And so we are going to get that started right away. And hopefully it comes up. Let's see what it looks like here. I'm going to try to shrink it up a bit. I don't know if that did any good. All right, that should work. All right, and then for this, we decided all the way back that I was going first. So Basically, how this segment works is after we finish the coaster draft, you will be able to vote which one you think is better. So, yes, that is pretty much the thing. And so, with that being said, we will start the draft. I have my pick of the bunch for the first coaster I could go with. And man, as much as I would like to go with a certain one, I do know it is controversial and might not do super well in a thing like this. So I'm going to play it on the safe side. And for my first coaster, I am going to go with Phantom's Revenge at Kennywood. Because I just get the vibe that, yeah, I think that's probably the move. So Phantom's Revenge will be my first pick. Jace, you have the next two picks.
All right. I did want Phantom's Revenge, but I'm kind of glad you got that because my first coaster is going to be Storm Runner at Hershey Park because
I was considering it.
there isn't a lot of good launch coasters in Pennsylvania, I've noticed. So I think I'd rather like snatch up the best launch coaster before it gets taken.
And then your next one?
Oh, yeah. My next one is going to actually be, let's see. I'm probably gonna go with Ravine Flyer 2 because it seems like a very interesting one coaster. So yeah, I'll go with Ravine Flyer 2.
All right. Good picks there. Now, man, you did leave Skyrush there, which is tempting because I feel like it's a different enough ride where I think I could do it, but I mean, I feel like it almost would be better to fill out some other things, probably. And I think I'm trying to see which ones I want to go with because yeah, that was smart. You took the ones that were kind of like the big holes there. There isn't a ton of great looping coasters, so I am tempted to take Fahrenheit, and I think I will. I think that'll be my second one. Bit of a weird pick, but I'm gonna stick with it. And then,
Punch, I must say.
yeah, it's a pretty good 1-2 punch there. And then we do have family coasters, which are 47 inches and below, and I think it's too good of an opportunity to not pass on it. I mean, to pass on it. So I'm gonna pick Phoenix at Knoebels, and which that's our criteria. It's under 47 inches because
Wow.
that's the most doable thing. There's still some pretty good ones too. So Pennsylvania's kind of really good at that, weirdly enough. But those are my picks. So Jace, now you have the next two.
This is tough. I'm probably gonna try and just fill my hypercoaster void by getting Candemonium at Hershey Park because
Okay.
I've ridden it. I thought it was a pretty fun ride. Good crowd pleaser. I actually grayed out on it, oddly enough. So yeah, I'd say, and plus it's probably the safer pick than the other hypercoaster at the same park. So yeah.
And then you get another pick because at this point
Alright.
it's in twos.
I'm gonna try go with. Ooh, let me check out the kitty. Ooh, I could go for this kitty coaster. Um.
Oh no. You're gonna get, if you do it, like people are just gonna pick it.
I mean, because of the chance that I could actually win with that, yeah, I'm gonna go fill my kitty coaster spot with Lil Phantom at Kennywood. Um, I don't know if it's the actual best kitty coaster, but just for the heck of it.
Oh my god. I was like tempted to leave it off because I'm like, man, that one's gonna be like probably an ultimate decider, but I decided to leave it. So at this point, you did leave Skyrush on the board, but you already have two hypercoasters, so I want to take it, but I'm gonna hold off. And I'm actually gonna go with Great Bear, or actually, which one's better praised? Or maybe I should go with something different. Kind of rethinking this a bit. Um, wow. Okay. Man, this one's actually more difficult than I figured. You know what? I guess I'll go with Steel Curtain actually. It is a hyper coaster, but it is so different from the other rides that I think I could potentially even pull off 3 with this lineup, but we'll see if I decide to do that. And then for my next coaster, I'll do I guess I might as well fill out my I shoot, what should I go with? This is pretty difficult. I forgot how difficult these things are and how much they make you think. It when you're like away from it, you don't realize. But I am going to take Great Bear at Hershey Park. I don't know which one's better received in terms of general, but I know there's quite a few Great Bear fans, so I'm just gonna go with it. And yeah, that's gonna be the plan. All right, Jace, you got the next 2.
Okay, so I'm gonna take the other invert, Talon, at Dorney Park, because I heard it was actually pretty well praised and sometimes underrated. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with Talon for my first one, and for my second one, honestly, I have no idea, but I guess I could probably go the family coaster route, and I'd say a good bridge coaster. That I would like to take is Super Duper Looper at Hershey Park, because I think that's a very good bridge coaster. It was my little brother's first ever upside down coaster, and he liked it. So, yeah, I think it's a good coaster to have.
Yeah, that was a good pick. Wasn't eyeing that one, but I definitely can see that now. All right, so let's see what I can go with next. I feel bad doing it, but like, I don't know. It's right there. I kind of have to pull the trigger. I am gonna go with Skyrush at Hershey Park. Yes, we're going a little overkill with the hypers, but they are very different rides from each other. I think you can have them all in one park and you can you can get by with it. And I'll just fill out my launch coaster and go with Skyrocket because why not? So I did pick 2 only right there. I hope I didn't. Yeah, that was 2 of them. Okay. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And I mean, don't worry. I got my third hypercoaster covered with Lil Phantom, of course. So, anyway, okay. So for my next coaster, I honestly have no idea at this point. I'm gonna fill out my family coaster one again, and I'm gonna go with Laugh Track at Hershey Park, because I guess for the same reason as Super Duper Looper, Laugh Track is actually my little brother's favorite coaster at Hershey Park, over Super Duper Looper, I guess. Would love to have a shorter wait, but besides that, I like Laugh Track too as well. It's a good ride.
And then your other one?
Oh, my other one, right. Fine, I may as well could go with another thrill coaster. Guess there isn't really much after that. I mean, I got an invert, I got a Woody, I got a launch coaster, I got a hyper. That's like the 4 main ones you really need. But I guess I could go with why are there so many wild mice in the thrill coaster department? That's
Because they're 48 inches and above.
I guess.
That's why. You
I'm
can also,
probably-
if like for example, you can also take one if you want to do one of the family ones and just put it in the thrill category because like Twister exists. You could do
right.
that, but you don't have to.
I guess I'm gonna also fill my last family coaster one, and I'm gonna go with Merlin's Mayhem at Dutch Wonderland because it's a different enough family coaster from everything else.
Yeah, those are good picks. My family lineup's kind of like messed up. I'm not gonna pick Twister because that's just ridiculous. I
I
need
mean, that
actual
seems better
family
than any family
coasters.
coaster I have. So
Um, I am going to take Lightning Racer because, I mean, at Hershey Park, it's at a park with like 3 wooden coasters. It is very different from a Phoenix for reference, so why not? And then I'll take a family coaster here. Um, you really kind of messed with the good ones I wanted to take. Um, God, I can't do it. Oscar's Wacky Taxi would be perfect, but like that, I guess I kind of messed that up when I picked Phoenix because there's like kind of similar-ish wooden coasters in there. Um, but you know what? Why not? I'll take Exterminator at Kennywood. I don't know how good it is, but it fills out something. So there we go. Exterminator at Kennywood. You're
interesting.
two next.
So I think we already established at this point that Pennsylvania has way too many wooden coasters.
Yes.
So I think we're bound to have at least two Woodies per park. Um, so because of that, my next pick, since we're allowed to have family coasters be thrill coasters, my next pick is Comet at Hershey Park, to sort of, I guess, be that version of Phoenix.
Yep.
I have a counterpart to that, right? I guess. So yeah, I choose Comet for my first one, and then for my second one, ooh, okay, I will have to go to the throw one for this, and there's two wild mice in the throw department, so um, you know what? Since I don't really have a coaster like it in this park, but Carrick does, I'm gonna choose Impulse at Knoebels to sort of fill that kind of void that Fahrenheit has. So yeah, I'll choose Impulse.
Yeah, that's a good pick there. Roller coaster does not have a 36-inch height requirement, so that is why I'm avoiding picking it. But to be honest, I mean, we could, no, I don't, I want to do it, but I could, I mean, what else is there? Like a wild mouse? Like my
Hmm.
options are pretty bad actually in terms of anything else. I'm pretty tempted to do that. Um, actually. Um, Although, you know what? I think this is a good option. Trailblazer technically has a 36-inch height requirement, but I'm gonna put it in Family Coaster because I think it better fits that sort of thing. So,
It
well,
would be a pretty good kitty coaster.
yeah, but I'm not gonna do that. I kind of feel like I've gone a little overpowered with a few of them, like Phoenix, but yeah, we'll go for that, and I guess I have one more before you choose your last two, which will fill out yours. And I guess I might as well go with a thrill coaster. Let's see my lineup. Um, Man, this is pretty difficult. I think there's like two solid options here, really. Um, but I think I'm gonna go with actually, yeah, we'll go with Possessed because I think that works. Because my other launch coaster is Skyrocket. We'll go with Possessed at Dorney Park. So, yeah, you're not a family coaster. Well, under the definition for this, you are. So, too bad.
It's only by height requirement, nothing to do with the ride experience itself.
Alrighty, you get your next two, which will be your last.
Okay. So I would like to have like, a wait, let me is Mountain Coaster an alpine coaster?
Yes.
I'm gonna take Mountain Coaster.
What?
Because it's so different from anything else. So yeah. Plus, you never get alpine coasters in like real amusement parks, so it's something different.
I guess so.
Um, and for my second coaster, ooh, um, I really want to boycott this certain coaster, just because I did not like it, or I wasn't the biggest fan of it.
I'll just let you know. I mean, Hydra's still there. I think that's a pretty good option,
I don't know
but
if
maybe I'm
that
wrong.
would balance it very well. I mean, I guess why not? Yeah, I'll take Hydra at Dorney Park. It's a floorless coaster. I mean, that's kind of different enough.
It's a pretty different ride than Impulse. I mean, which is what you have as a looper. And Talon, yeah, it's an invert, but I mean, you know, I mean, I just am like I can't. I dislike boomerangs so much that I'm just kind of like I'm not gonna let you take one.
Sidewinder at Hershey Park was actually the one I was trying to boycott, just because it actually made my brother dizzy, so he couldn't ride. He missed out on Fahrenheit because he wasn't feeling very well. So I will forever have a bias against that coaster.
All right, so should I go if there are like maybe one or two meme ones on here, but for kiddie coasters, which is where I'm at.
Oh.
Technically, Comet would count, but I'm overloaded on wooden coasters, so I'm not gonna touch it. Man. You know what? Why not? We're gonna do Cosmos Curves at Knoebels, an appropriate challenger to Lil Phantom, I suppose. So that's gonna be the last one. So let's see if I can get them all in one thing. I think I might just have to increase it a teeny bit. Hopefully everyone should be able to see this. I'm going to put the poll in chat. There are less people than I have had in usual times when I do this. So if it's not enough votes, I can go to Instagram as well and do it that way. See what people think is the better park. That could be pretty fun. I've thought about doing that anyways, just have two different places, but yeah, so I'm gonna be doing the poll. And so Jace's park is the orange one, and my park is the blue one. So we're going to put that in the chat, and then you can vote. Hopefully it's there now.
It's there on my thing.
All right, I think that's how we're gonna do this. It's gonna be, we'll see what YouTube says, and then I'll put it up on Instagram and see how that goes. Hopefully there isn't too much bias because, of course, you know, it's my channel, so hopefully that doesn't. I mean, I guess I could just say Park 1 or Park 2 and not say whose it is, so, you know, but that could be pretty fun. So, oh, there's already been 7 votes. There's 8 votes. Okay, so clearly my StreamYard thing's off in terms of how many viewers there are, because it's telling me something that's not true. So, nice to see that. 9 votes. Looks like, Jace, you're going to pull this one away. Yeah, I think you got it.
You can remove 1 vote from me. I wanted to see the results, so I voted for 1.
Oh, you're cool. I mean, no, you won. It's 11 votes. You're 64%. I'm at 36. Yay. So YouTube gives you the dub. Redemption for the last one, because I won the last one, but you get redemption here. So congrats on that. Like I said, I'll post it on Instagram too, probably tomorrow. That should be pretty fun to see a different sort of view on this. So there we have it. So that's gonna wrap up that segment.
If Lil Phantom wasn't an option, I would have probably picked Vapor Trail for my kiddie coaster. Because I like Vekoma Junior coasters, but yeah.
Wait, I don't think that one's a Vekoma Junior coaster. It's a Zero Force 1, I think.
Oh. Whoops.
Because it's a SeaWorld park, that's like the kind of kiddie coasters they like for some reason, so.
Why did I think it was a junior coaster? That was interesting. Oh wait, it
Alright.
is. Oh, at Sesame Place.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a Vekoma junior coaster.
Oh, really? Okay, so I
Yeah.
am wrong.
It's on
Okay.
RCDB.
Wow. That's sad that I didn't know the model it was, so. But there you have it. Next we have Coaster Hangman, which is a segment. Actually, shoot, I don't think have I done this with a guest?
Not sure.
Because if I didn't do it with you, I guess I didn't think this through how it would go, but hopefully it should work.
Maybe I can only put guesses in private chat and not like letter guesses.
Yeah,
like,
that might be a good move because
my guess, if I guess it right, it would be separate from the chat's guess. Kind of like
yeah. I think that'll be the move. I think that's gonna be our sort of quick thinking on the fly there. But I'm gonna try to get it up on here, and hopefully everyone should. Okay, that's the wrong one. That would have been really bad. That would have spoiled it if I put that one on there. But here it is, Coaster Hangman, with the beautiful poster that I have not changed since the first time I did it. And we'll get started right away. So, same thing as if you've done it before, you guess questions. And yes, Theme Park Guide Productions. I mentioned it the last few times I did it, but I forgot this time. But yes, I was inspired to do this segment from Zach from Theme Park Guide Productions. He does this segment on his Instagram live stream. So huge shout out to him for one, allowing me to use the segment when I asked, and for also starring it. It's a really good idea. So. Yeah. But with that being said, there's no hang person, it's just letters because it's too much work for me to incorporate a hang person. It's not accelerator, it's not Leviathan, and there is no S in this one. So let's see. I'm also going to look at StreamYard because I think it might be a little faster there. Okay. There is multiple E's, so I'm going to get that down. Ton of them. So I think I got all of them. Yes. Okay, so there you go. There is 1A. There are no D's. And I'm trying to, yeah, okay, so that's where we are so far. Definitely not super apparent just based off looking at it. That's for sure. Let's see what comes in next. S. We already said no to that. There is Mr. Color Roaster got it. No way. He did it. Gatekeeper is the correct answer. That is what we call a snipe. I mean, man, that is really good. My delivery on that was really weird, but it was a snipe regardless. So yeah, I mean, that was crazy. Good job there, Mr. Color Roaster. That was really good. All right, we have our second coaster, which is gonna be one that is not as well known as Gatekeeper. I'll just say it off the bat. I wouldn't exactly say it's like super obscure, but it's not like as well known as Gatekeeper, basically. So ask away your letters. Cool, you'll be writing in August. Should be fun. Pretty solid coaster for me. There are 2 T's, so starting off strong. Twist and Shout, nope, not quite. Let's see, and that should be those. So let's see what other things we... Of course, the yard work has arrived for me. There is yard work in my front yard. that is
yard work on my screen, or no, I hear yard work near me too. So
cool. All right. There is 1D. There is 1S. It is not Tidal Twister. Not a bad guess though, especially considering that came out a few, like probably before I put in the other letters. So that's actually a good thinking there, but not quite. Let's see. Jace, you can do letters in the regular chat. I guess I'll let you do that, but you just can't. I guess. I mean, although that might throw you off, so I don't know if you want to do that. I guess it's probably better if you just go off what the chat's guessing. So I think that probably works best. Alrighty, there are 2 A's.
I guess I'll do snipes only.
Things are starting to come together here. Just a little bit. Alright. Let's see. Come on, chat. I know like people are putting things in and it just isn't updating right. It's so annoying. There are 2 O's. Now, Mr. Cola Roaster, my goodness. And then yeah, you Jace got it like right there too. It is indeed Texas Tornado, which is the Hopkins Looper. So there you have it.
Ugliest loops I've ever seen.
It's kind of cool looking. It does look really weird, but like I kind of dig it, but it is really strange. All right, so we'll get to our next coaster and ask away. Pretty short one, so we'll see how quickly people get it. There are multiple S's. Alrighty, let's see what's coming next. Oh my god, a snipe again. Theme Park Guy Productions got it right. It is Abyssus at Energy Landia.
I guess Colossus.
Good guess. I mean,
oh, it wouldn't fit. Never mind.
It wouldn't quite fit, but hey, like if you see it, like that's a pretty good guess, honestly. So, there you have it. Abyssus at Energy Landia. This is round 4, halfway through the rounds, so that's going to be our 4th round. Yeah, that was a really good guess. Great job there, Zach. That was really good. But yeah. Okay, so starting now. Okay, so the first letter I see is T. There are none in this one. There are no O's. This one could trip up some people. I could see it being problematic. There's no S. There is no R.
Wow.
There is no D.
Not Behemoth.
Alright, let's see. There are 2 A's, so we're getting somewhere with that. There are no E's. And let's see. It's not Conda with 3 A's, that'd be funny. Let's see what else comes in. I already said there were no E's. There are no N's. This one is, yeah, I was like, man, this one could be a bit of a weird one. And it's proving to be that thus far. However, there is one I. Oh, wait, did I put it in the wrong spot? No, it's in the right spot. Okay. There is no H. However, there is one M. It is actually here. Oh shoot, what the heck happened? Okay. Yeah, you got it. I'm not gonna spoil it to chat, but yes, good
Yay!
job, Jace. You got it. Let's see what else. There is not not Alabama. Hayden got it. Fujiyama. Kind of looks like it, to be honest. Hayden got it for, at least on my screen, first, quickly followed by Mr. Color Roaster. But yes, the correct answer is Fujiyama at Fuji Q Highland. Now get ready for this next one.
Oh,
There you go.
Pleasant.
So ask away. Alrighty, let's see the chat. There is, surprisingly, no H in this one. Like, how could that be possible with so many letters? There's no T in this one. Also, believe it or not. There is no D in this. There is one S. Wow, now it's starting to go quick. We have one A. We don't have an E in this somehow. Just crazy. It is not Batman the Ride. There are multiple O's. There is one L. There are, let's see, what's the next one? T. We already have confirmed there's no T. And there are multiple B's. So now I think now it should be more clear. Yes, Jace, you got it. Let's see how quickly the chat can do it. I mean, it should be pretty easy at this point.
Yeah.
Pretty much anyone's game. My chat has not updated yet for some reason.
I thought that I would get it with everyone else.
Do you have your chat up by chance? Has it updated?
Or a little bit.
Do I get Hayden? I will give him partial credit because I think he knows the coaster clearly, or they know the coaster clearly, but well, I guess I'll also give a shout out, I suppose. Yeah, there we go. Mr. Color Roaster got it. It is Raging Wolf Bob's at Geauga Lake. The defunct wooden coaster that had a great name if they didn't add Bob's at the end. So
Raging Wolf is a good name.
Yeah, it is. Pretty sad that they didn't just go with that. All right. Next, we have our next coaster, so guess away. Let's see. Time-wise, we're almost doing good. I think it's gonna be a little over, but we're getting better. Improvement. There is no S. However, oh my god. Color without any letters.
What?
He got it. It is Outlaw Run. Unbelievable. I mean, I guess you could probably narrow it down pretty quick, but wow. Now, I mean, that is the snipe of all snipes. That was nuts. I mean, crazy. Zach got it pretty close as well, so man, crazy. All right, we got our next coaster, which will be our second to last one.
That was fast.
And I can guarantee that this one cannot be guessed without like a single letter. I hope. And I'm right about that. So there is one S and there is one O. Which already right off the bat, those are potentially pretty helpful. And there are multiple T's. So there we have it there. No D on this one. Let's see. It is not Apollo's Chariot. I did see that in chat. I don't know if I answered that yet, but it is not Apollo's Chariot. Alrighty. There is one C. And Theme Park Guide Productions got it. I know what you were trying to say, so I'm gonna give it just because I'm not too picky with that. But yes, Zach, good snipe. It is Parrot Coaster at Chimelong Ocean Kingdom, which is one of their wing coasters. So that was also a pretty good one. Good job there. And next we have our last coaster. One word. It just is a really long one.
Nice.
So there you go. There are multiple E's and multiple as in there are a lot actually. Hopefully I put these in the right places. Just checking. Yeah, they're all in the right spot. So multiple E's. It's not Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. That would be so... I mean, people think it's evil, but like, if I actually tried to pull that off, everyone would know what it was immediately. So, let's see. Let's see. I only put one O. For Parrot Coaster? No, I put in both. Oh, wait, no, you're right. Shoot, I did miss the O in Coaster. That is my bad. Yeah, I did screw that up. My bad there. I'll make sure not to do that next time. But we do have one C. Just absolutely making sure that there's not an extra here. There's not. There is no D in this one. There is one T. Yep, Jace. And Mr. Color Roaster got it.
Yeah.
It is indeed Steeplechase, specifically at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. So that is our Guess the Coaster game. Great job to everyone who played. Sorry about the round 7 error. That was my bad on that. Yeah, I mean, that would have been helpful to have the O there. So I can see how that would have thrown a bunch of people off. So sorry about that, but GG's regardless. And we had a good variety of people getting the correct answers there. So pretty good round overall, or game overall. So yeah. All right, next we have our final segment before we go into our final Q&A, which will be our countdown of our top 5 first drops. So for this, and also I will say, I know some people don't allow launch coasters to be on a first drops list, but I decided that we could allow it if one of us had that. So if you see those on here, that is why. And so with that being said, actually, Jace, I'm going to have you go first. What is your number 5?
Okay. So I'm glad you included that because I've not ridden many coasters. But yeah, number 5 is actually a launch coaster. It is Storm Runner at HersheyPark. It's because, first of all, I've ridden the ride. My only ride on it was in like row 10. So it's kind of towards the back. So I got some good whip over the drop. And I like that it was a straight vertical drop, unlike Accelerator with a twist. Although I've never ridden Accelerator in the back. So if I do eventually, maybe that will come above Storm Runner since it's taller. But anyway, yeah, Storm Runner is my number 5. It's a pretty good drop.
Yeah, I agree. It's actually a really good drop in my opinion. Especially in the I did not do it in the back row, so I did it toward the front, but it was still a very memorable moment for sure. I think it might make my top 10. I'm not sure, but it's really good. I considered it. I do know that, even though it is a bit unorthodox just because it's after a launch.
Yeah.
My number 5 is Joker at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, which, for those of you who haven't ridden this, might be a little bit of a surprise, but this is actually my favorite RMC drop of any of the RMC coasters I've done. And the reason for that is the drop itself is quite steep, but it also has the twist. So you get that crazy ejector airtime when you're going out of it, along with a twist. And as someone who's pretty curious as to what Expedition G-Force feels like and some of the other cool looking twisted drops in the world, this is, I guess, something that I don't know if it's comparable, but it's a really good one. It just feels really out of control and you get some really good airtime out of it. So that's why it's my number 5.
All right. Yeah. I think that drop from the POVs looks pretty underrated, I'll be honest. So my number 4, this is a drop that I raved about for a while. It is actually Hang Time at Knott's Berry Farm. When I first rode the ride, I didn't expect anything from the drop. I just thought it would be like floaty and everything. But I was actually thoroughly impressed with the drop. I'd say the drop gave me the most like stomach dropping feeling out of any drop I've ridden. And if you're scared of that feeling, I mean, it only lasts for like half a second. So, but yeah, good drop. It has good airtime in the back. And yeah, it's I was overall pretty surprised with the drop, I must say.
Yeah, it's another one that it didn't quite make the list, but it's definitely an honorable mention for me. It's a really good one, for sure. And it is, I believe, the steepest drop I've done up to this point. So I would like to say it is. So it is very good. My number 4, and this might be a little low, but I only rode this in the front row, so that's going to be why. It is Skyrush at HersheyPark. Now this drop is still really powerful, even in the front row. I mean, I guess I did this not just in the front row, but in the front rows, not toward the back of the train. So I didn't quite feel the full power of this thing, but even still, it was an incredible drop. Super strong airtime on it. And it's one that I really want to experience in the back. I just didn't do it back in 2017 when I rode it. But Skyrush, super strong drop and an amazing way to start the ride. So, yeah. Your number 3?
That is a drop that I would have loved to experience, but even though I did go to Hershey Park, Skyrush was closed at the time because of that like cable lift hill incident. So that won't make my list, but my number 3 is a drop that also surprised me because I rode in like the back 2 rows, and that is Comet at Hershey Park. Kind of a interesting pick, but I chose that because the buzz bars mainly. Even though it has a seatbelt, the buzz bar still offered a lot of room. So when I went down the drop, it was like it had really good ejector. It definitely whipped me over, and I came a lot out of my seat. So yeah, overall was pleasantly surprised with Comet's drop.
Yeah, those classic wooden coasters, they can have pretty underrated like first drops. You just don't think of it because they're not like super steep, obviously, but like just compared to like steel coasters, obviously. But with the loose restraints, they're pretty crazy. So, or they can be. So, it's definitely a unique feeling. So I can understand why it's on there. Crazy enough, I didn't even account for that one. I have like a list where I copy and paste. I didn't even put that one in, so that's definitely a shock for me. But I could totally see that for sure. My number 3 is Millennium Force at Cedar Point.
That's a good one.
It is so good. It is super long lasting. You're just out of your seat for what it seems like forever. Not necessarily like super ejector, but it's more like flow ejectors, I guess what I would call it. Um, it just lasts so long. It's just like so crazy going down the first drop, which obviously back when in its day was a big deal because it was like the tallest coaster, full circuit coaster in the world. But I mean, it is something that you have to experience it to believe it, and that's probably the case of a good chunk of probably Giga coasters, really. But this drop was really special, and I can't recommend it enough.
All right. My number two favorite drop is actually kind of the complete opposite of your drop. Like instead of being big and gradual, it's short but really powerful. I rode this ride in the back row. It is Fahrenheit at Hershey Park. Um, I just well, I don't really remember the drop very well because it was just so fast. But what I do know is I sat in the back row and it was a very whippy and very powerful first drop. Um, Lots of ejector. Yeah, it was overall a very good drop.
Yeah, I do prefer it over hang time like you, just because it's a true free fall first drop. There's no I guess um, sort of dive or hanging
Holding
thing.
break.
Yeah, holding break. I don't know why I forgot it off the top of my head there, but no, it's a really good first drop. It literally just missed the cut. That was my number 6, so
Mm.
it was right there. So happy to see it ranked super high on your list because it's insanely good, especially toward the back row. So definitely agree with that. My number 2, kind of similar actually. It's Maverick at Cedar Point.
Oh yeah,
So this one
I can imagine.
is ridiculous because we have had like we've talked about some of the beyond vertical drops on here, but usually it's like you're going up a lift or you even have a holding break. This one you have a good bit of momentum heading into it, and it is pure insane. You get absolutely ejected out of it like no other first drop I've ever ridden or I've ever experienced. I think Skyrush might have something to say about it once I do it toward the back, but I did do Maverick toward the back, so it is just pure insanity. It's super short, but you get absolutely ejected out of your seat. So that's why it's my number 2.
Yeah, I bet I can imagine Maverick would feel like Fahrenheit's drop on steroids. But yeah, my number one is it's I guess it's kind of the obvious one since I haven't ridden Skyrush. But it is at Hershey Park still, which is Candemonium at Hershey Park. Um, I okay. I probably had like the worst possible row on Candemonium because I rode in row like 3. Um, but I still liked the drop the most because of just how long it was. Um, More than anything, I probably prefer a long drop than a short but strong drop. So yeah, I just like Candemonium's the best just because of its pure length. And I bet if I ride in the back row, it'd probably rank even higher.
Yeah, for sure. The thing with those big drops is even like the really long drops on the hyper and giga coasters is that no matter what row you're in for a pretty good drop. So I rode Millennium Force toward the front. I rode it toward the back. I almost enjoyed the first drop. I don't know if I'd say equally, but it was pretty close. So yeah, I totally get that, and it's a coaster I didn't ride because it opened after I went. So you're missing Skyrush, I'm missing Candemonium. So
There we go.
there you have it. My number 1, if you've been following the channel, this is like no surprise because I've literally said it's my favorite element in the world. It is X2's first drop at Six Flags Magic Mountain. Um, Facing face down while on a roller coaster experiencing like such a crazy drop and the flip that happens, and even at the very top, the last time I rode it I got like a pop of like quick ejector too, which made it even more insane. It is a ridiculous element, and it's unlike anything you'll find on any other coaster. Just it's pure insanity is the best way to describe it. So it's my number one. I love out of control coasters, and I think that moment is like the most out of control moment on any coaster I've experienced. So X2 is my number one there. So that'll do it for our countdown, and we'll move into our final Q&A. I know I do have a segment that was optional if we had time for it, but I'm gonna go to end of stream Q&A because it's getting close to like the 2.5 hour mark that I was trying to go under. So that way we're closer to 2 hours. So yeah. Alrighty.
You've earned a lot of good drops, Stamford Bridge. I'm
yeah. Wait, Cornball Express? Interesting. I like that. I probably, if I do go to Indianapolis, I'm probably not going to Indiana Beach because my hope would be going there would be like I could go there and potentially not really have to visit anytime in the nearish future, if at all. But with American Dream Looping probably not going to be open by then, it would be kind of foolish for me to do that. So, yeah. Jace, are you doing any trips this year? It comes from Diggin' Barnes.
Probably not, unfortunately. I guess it's because I'm transitioning to college. So that does have an effect on things. But yeah, I'm hoping I could go to some parks like maybe next year during some like trips. But as for right now, I do not have anything in the works, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean I get it. That's a huge transition, and that's obviously very important. But hopefully, but in the future we'll see what happens. I guess so. Who knows? So yeah, let's see. Cornball Express has violent laterals as it drops, especially in the last row. Kept my arms up and thought I was. Oh yeah, I think I have heard about that. So yeah, that would be pretty wild. That does sound pretty nuts. So
Interesting.
I guess if somehow I'm there soon, I'll check it out. Not a first drop, but Mummy. Like, what about it? Like the lot. I'm confused. What about Mummy? Just it exists. It's good.
Hey, maybe there's like a small drop, but that just offers really good ejector airtime.
Oh, I like this question from Dagan Bard's worst Disney rides you've been on.
I gotta think about that one.
I love that question. There's truthfully, I mean, I really dislike It's a Small World, but can I really call it bad? Not really, but I really dislike that ride. So that's certainly up there.
I can't think. I guess there's not a Disney ride that I hate, but there might be some that I don't really like. I guess probably my least favorite ride at Disney. If I can't think of any others that would probably be worse, then it would be like one of those classic dark rides in like the Fantasyland section. So like either Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, Snow White's Scary Adventures. Just because when I was 5, I was actually like a little traumatized from those rides. So it didn't give me a good look, or it didn't give me a good impression on them. So just because of that, it's not like totally my favorite, but still good rides though.
I would say for the Fantasyland dark rides, I have done like literally all of them within the last year. So I would say of the bunch, my least favorite was probably Pinocchio. So pretty to me. And Snow White was honestly not great either, even though it just got its new upgrades. But I love Mr. Toad's. But
Mr. Toad's is my favorite out of those, I'd say.
I get why, like, going through hell would traumatize a little kid because that's literally what happens. So, that's an interesting aspect of the ride, but I want it to stay forever. It won't happen, but I want it to. Let's see. Let's see. Wild West Mine Train. Yeah, that actually looked really underrated. Rest in peace. That coaster looked so good, unironically. That's the Ocean Park one. That actually looked really good. It's so sad it's gone now. Yeah.
I didn't look at a POV of that one, so I should probably check that out because you say it's good, it probably is.
If you may have not seen a POV of it, but maybe you've seen a picture of it. Ocean Park is like kind of in the mountains, but it has like a really good view of the ocean, so it gives like some of the best views of any coaster in the world.
Probably.
And it's also like a large scale mine train. It's like actually pretty big. So it was actually pretty good. Do scare actors scare you? Have you experienced any like Halloween type events?
I've actually never experienced a Halloween event at a park. Probably because I would be in school by then. But I'd say I'm gonna hold my thought on that until I actually experience a Halloween event, I guess.
I'll say for the most part, no. But sometimes there are a few times where there will be a really clever scare actor, or you'll just get something that you just really do not expect in the slightest. And yeah, that is pretty terrifying. It honestly does take quite a bit for me to be truly like terrified like that. I still like enjoy doing it, especially like not Scary Farm, because their mazes, yes, they're scare actors and stuff, but there's also like the part of like the design and the setup of the mazes. It's also really cool, and the props and stuff. So it's not just scare actors. There's a lot more to it. So that's why I like that event so much.
If I were to give a prediction, I would probably get scared by scare actors, I must say.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing like haunt-ish events since I was like 10, I think, something like that.
So you're already used to it by now.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I was either 10 or 11. No, I was 11 when I did my first one. So, I was like one of the youngest people actually going in the mazes and stuff. So, that was I did not get traumatized, by the way. So, I actually quite enjoyed it. But anyways. How would you like Grizzly at Great America? This for you, Jace. Hard to judge it if you haven't ridden it and if you haven't studied the
I found
POV.
Twister 2 fun. So if that has anything, well, I guess Grizzly would probably be smoother and also more boring. So it would probably be one of my least favorite coasters just because of how boring it may be. But I don't know.
I've already mentioned, but this coaster, like, it literally doesn't do anything.
Are we going to see a Carrick Grizzly rant in this stream?
No, I'm just going to say it does nothing but shuffle and leave it at that. I mean,
How about
it
a
is...
Coast Rider one?
No. Boomerang has, like, kind of changed a lot of things at Discovery Kingdom.
Oh, yeah.
Like, actually, that ride is just absolute garbage.
I remember in the buy and sell, one person asked a little too late if Coast Rider would get removed. I'm like, I would buy that just because I want that thing gone.
I'm hopeful. One day, maybe.
One day, yeah.
I think it actually has a shot just because of like what happened and the fact that they had to put those shin guards on it. I actually think there's a shot it could happen. But like I think it would make more sense to remove it than like Jaguar, for reference, because it's like, okay, you remove Jaguar, what are you gonna replace it with? Like, you can't. So just because of the weird layout it has, like, it's pretty much irreplaceable. So yeah, let's see.
Freshwater bobsleds are good. I'd say that would be a good replacement.
Yeah, it would be. Cedar Fair, come on and work with them, please.
You already worked with Gerstlauer in the same park.
Exactly. So come on, just do it. Thoughts on Cosmic Rewind? I have not ridden it. I did watch the POV because I honestly didn't care about not getting spoiled. I mean, about not getting spoiled. It looks really fun, and I'm a huge fan of Space Mountain at Disneyland. It is in my top 20 coasters I've ever ridden, and this seems like a modern, like souped up version of it. So I'm sure I'm gonna really like this coaster whenever I get the chance to ride it. I'm not gonna put like super high expectations for it because I know it's more of a fun ride than anything else, but it looks so fun, so I really want to check it out.
Yeah, I probably have the same thoughts as Carrick. It seems very similar to Space Mountain, which I also like. It's probably gonna be smoother too. So that would be even better. Plus it spins. It's gonna be a different experience, but I think I'm gonna really like it.
And also for, I guess we just said Space Mountain, but we were talking about the Disneyland one, not the Magic
Yeah.
Kingdom one, because obviously those are two completely different things. So yeah, smoothest coaster yet. That is a good question. Honestly, that's I think I've got it before. It's really hard for me to be like, wow, that there because I mean I find quite a few coasters to be pretty smooth.
I do have one.
That is pretty difficult though. Smoothest.
You want me to go? Because I
You
think I
yeah,
have
you
one.
go. You go for it.
Okay, so not by a long shot, but I did notice that Great Bear at Hershey Park was like actually the smoothest thrill coaster there, even smoother than Canemonium, which is interesting. But just because Canemonium had a little rattle in the first valley, but yeah, Great Bear was just overall a really smooth ride. Silver Bullet is close though. Just in general, B&M Inverts are probably the smoothest two coasters I've ridden.
Silver Bullet actually runs pretty smooth. I've never had an issue with it, so I would actually say that one runs really smooth, all things considered. You might disagree, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's like smoothest coaster, but as far as like B&M loopers go, that one stands out.
I would knock off Silver Bullet just because I got headbanging on the Cobra roll, but that's
Fair.
minor.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I can't really recall a coaster being like so ridiculously smooth that I'm like, wow, it was butter basically. I haven't done any B&M hypers, which I know when some of those are brand new, sometimes those are like the ones that tend to be like that. Um, if
Wing
they're not at
coasters
what coasters?
or wing coasters.
Yeah, Gatekeeper had it wasn't
Uh,
major, but they like it doesn't really bother me, but like I remember it having a little thing. Valraven even had like a little bit of a shuffle to it, so
I do have an
um
honorable mention for a smooth coaster. I thought Big Thunder Mountain Railroad at Disneyland was also like super smooth. Like it
oh
was
yeah.
surprising.
Yeah, no, that one actually would be up there. Yeah, that thing is like almost that is pretty close to butter in my
Yeah,
opinion, so yeah, I could see that. That is a good pick. Let's see. When am I coming to Disney World? Um, Here's where I'm at basically with it. The soonest I would even go that I would consider going there is 2024, and that would be the absolute soonest because I would much rather just do a trip doing the other Orlando area parks, maybe do a trip just for Busch Gardens Tampa because Disney World kind of has a lot of things to figure out with like the whole lightning lane and stuff. I've heard it's been a little more difficult to visit, and also I want Guardians to be off its one ride per day thing, ideally. So and it doesn't really seem like they have any projects coming up that I would feel horrible for missing out on that seem to be in the pipeline for the future. Like what, redone Splash Mountain? I have that. I'm gonna have that here, so I mean I don't really care if I miss that out on it there. So um I think 2024 or beyond, but not anytime super soon. Do you have an answer for that? I guess you can answer. Yeah, you can answer that question. I know it's specifically for me, but
Do not know when I would ever go to Disney World, but hopefully it's sometime in the near future.
super expensive also. That I mean, I pretty
Yeah.
obviously, but that's the other thing too. It is like I would not couple it with the other Orlando area parks. I would not because it is its own thing basically with how much it costs. All right, last few questions here. Put your questions in by 33, and that'll be my cutoff. So yeah. Are you late? Yes. Sorry, Andre.
Oh well.
We are at the final Q&A, so we are toward the end of the stream. If you want to rewatch the stream, you're more than welcome to. I'll be putting the timestamps probably in by tomorrow.
Some questions as well.
But yeah, but if you have any questions to ask and anything like that, you still got time for that. Let's see. Roughest coaster yet.
Oh, easy.
You go first.
So, yeah, definitely Twister 2 at, at Elitch Gardens. Not necessarily my least favorite coaster, but it was definitely the roughest. But it's kind of funny how rough it was. It made me and my friend laugh at the end just because of how rough it was. But it was still pretty fun, I must say. I'll be honest. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Hey, I mean, at least it was enjoyable for you.
There you go.
My roughest was actually Boomerang at Knott's Berry Farm. Now, hot take a bit. I will take a ridiculously rough coaster over one that has an unbearable rattle, if that makes sense. Kind of weird, but like, I don't know how exactly you explain that, but I will take headbanging basically over something that's just ridiculously rattly. That it's like you're not actually hitting your head against the restraint so much, but it's rattling your brain a bit. Weird sort of way to describe it, but so that's why Boomerang at Knott's is not my least favorite coaster in the world. But it was ridiculously rough. Let's see. What else we have? Talon is one of the smoothest you've ridden.
I'd say I've not ridden enough coasters to agree or disagree with you, Carrick. So
Yeah, it's. I mean, Boomerang was an experience. No, it was not worse than the one at Discovery Kingdom because Boomerang at Discovery Kingdom being as bad as it was a multitude of things. One, I got stapled on it because I mean. About it when the ride up pushed it as far down as he could on my shoulders, which already made it like really bad. And then like I was just like my body, it was like almost hard to breathe a bit.
I was stapled on Great Bear.
And then the ridiculous rattle on it also, it was bad. It was really bad. Let's see. It's 33, so I'll let it go for another minute, and then we'll see if anything else comes in. Did you say if I wanted to join Coaster Hour? Left to check another live stream. No. How do I join Coaster? Oh, like we're not doing viewer call-ins today. If that's what you're asking. If you're asking how you could potentially be a guest in the future. I have a self-request form in the description and in the About page that you can fill out if that's something you're interested in. But this was not a viewer call-in episode, if that makes sense. But yeah. Coaster on which you've been stapled the worst.
I'd say probably Great Bear. It was actually like to the point where I found it a little hard to breathe, and it was actually kind of distracting from the experience. It was hard for me to like focus on the forces and everything because, yeah, it was. I had to focus on my breathing as well. So, yeah, did not enjoy that part of Great Bear, but besides that, it was pretty good. It was a pretty
Yeah,
good.
yeah, I'm trying to think. I think there's two that really stand out. Boomerang, of course, at Discovery Kingdom. But another one that was really bad was Valraven at Cedar Point, my
Oh,
one and only ride. That's part of the reason I rank it so low. I didn't think the coaster was even that good anyways, but regardless, like, it probably still wouldn't have even been in my top 10 at Cedar Point, even if it were like just a smooth experience. But um, yeah, that one was really bad. It created my sort of uh, like despise of vest restraints. So yeah,
interesting. I also got really stapled on a flat ride. If that kind of counts. But I guess that's like how the restraint was designed, though. The over the shoulder restraint on that one flat ride was designed in a special way where I guess you had to get stapled.
yeah. So it's kind of unfortunate thing. So we have just, I believe, two more questions before we're gonna wrap this up. The coaster with the most amount of airtime on a singular airtime hill in terms of duration. I mean, Millennium Force has a floater hill that gives really weak floater, but it lasts a while. I wouldn't
No.
exactly call it like a favorite element of mine, but it like lasts for a long time, even if it isn't honestly all that great in my opinion.
Mm.
The Goliath airtime hill at Magic Mountain, if you get airtime on it, it lasts a while. It's not really that good either. But but like that is a good question.
I'd say uh mine is kind of similar. A Candemonium at Hershey Park. The first airtime hill I'd say resembles the 5 second floater hill on Mako. I haven't ridden Mako, so I wouldn't know. But I do know that you get a lot of airtime on Candemonium's first airtime hill. It was pretty good. Of course, it would probably be stronger if I sat in the back, though.
Problem is, like, a good chunk of, like, because I have a weird hyper list, I mean, Skyrush, that's not really, yes, it has sustained airtime, but it's not like B&M hyper level. It's more focused on ejectors, so, and like the other hypers, I've done Superman Ultimo Escape. It has, one hill, I guess it's somewhat long, pretty long, all things considered. And then I don't know. I don't think I need. I guess I'll be doing a B&M hyper in the future with Goliath at over Georgia. So and maybe something else if something else happens this summer, but we'll see. Um, but yeah, I think my answers that I mentioned before are gonna be my answers there. Alrighty, so I think that's our last question. Before we head out here, of course, huge thanks to Jace once again for coming on. It was awesome to have you back on here, doing all these segments with you and everything. Always a blast to bring you on here, and really appreciate you coming on. And for those of you watching, as I mentioned earlier, I just created a new poll for those who have requested to come on, which I have pinned in the top of the chat. It's also in a description. But make sure to fill that out if you could, please. It literally takes like 5 minutes or less. It's one question, basically. So should be pretty easy to fill out. And then if you are interested in still coming on as a guest, even though you won't be in the first polling thing, you can fill out the self-request form, which is also in the description and the about page on YouTube. So if you want to do that, make sure to do that. Just know that filling out the form will not guarantee that you come on, but it gives you a chance to come on, if that makes sense. So I think that's pretty much going to be that. And so, Jace, if you have any last things you want to say, now would be the opportunity to.
So yeah, first of all, thank you again, Carrick, for getting me on to this stream. Streams with Carrick is always a blast. Um, so yeah, thanks for that. Thank you guys so much for watching as well. And yeah, subscribe to 808 Coaster Life.
Yeah, for sure. His links are in the description. Make sure to check out 808 Coaster Life. Really good content and reached 2,000 subs a little while ago, but not that long ago. So, congrats there to 2,000 plus sub YouTubers trying to get to 3K, I guess, at this point. So, there you have it. But I think that's going to wrap it up. So, with all of that being said, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time here on Coaster Hour. See you guys.